Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Esports Broadcasting Network. We are live from Kansas Speedway, Midway, USA, for the Ghost Cup Series 200. We've got 150 laps to go here tonight in the Ghost Cup Series, round number 7 for them in their inaugural season. My name is Angel Santiago, and I'm joined by my broadcast partner, Scott Posnancy. Scott, how are we doing today?
Angel, I'm great. I told you last week I love the mile and a halves, and I'm ready for another one.
Mile and a half, man, and Kansas is just one of my favorite tracks. I can't shut up about it, and you guys are going to hear it probably too many times today. But, man, Kansas is just absolutely one of my favorite tracks. It is so much fun to drive, requires so much driver skill. This is just one of those tracks that really puts it into the driver's hands, and I think we're going to see the best of the best rise to the top after tonight's race.
Absolutely, and we saw a lot of strategy come into effect last week when we were at Las Vegas, and a lot of that is going to carry over this week to Kansas. It's the same size track, very similar shape, but it's a much different strategy, but you're going to see those fuel windows get pushed and tire management be crucial to making it to the end of this race.
Man, tire management could not have been said better. Luckily, air temp is a little low today, 70 degrees, but track temp is still going to be a hot 90 degrees. It's going to be slick out there for these drivers, and a track that really does chew up tires.
Most definitely, and one thing to keep in mind too is the fact that it's going to be very sunny today. Kansas Speedway is not a track that's usually run under lights, and virtual Kansas is going to be no different than that, so it's going to be warm. So there's no reason to believe that track temperature isn't going to increase throughout the race.
Man, that's what makes something like this so exciting. It really gives the drivers an opportunity to prove that they are the best of the best. As we mentioned, it is Kansas Speedway. We're getting ready to go live here. We're going to go ahead and bring you our national anthem before we bring in our resident pastor, Zach Woods, for today's invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and of the brave?
What perfection we had there, man. I absolutely just love hearing this national anthem before the Ghost races on Wednesday nights, and really adds to what has been a fantastic season so far. Now we get to bring in our resident pastor, Zach Woods, for tonight's invocation. Zach, this is Angel and Scott in the broadcast booth. You got us?
Yep, I'm here.
Zach, I know you're feeling a little under the weather today, but still you're going to be our guide to give our invocation. Let's hear it.
All right, let's pray together. Almighty God, I thank you for technology like iRacing that exists, where different people from different walks of life can come and greet and meet one another and build friendships. And Lord, tonight we pray that we honor you by how we talk to one another and how we drive with respect with one another, and Lord, we just pray that this is a fruitful and beneficial time, and we pray all of this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Zach. As always, you have yourself a good race, and I hope you feel better here.
Yep, thank you.
All right, and now to go ahead and bring in, let's see, drivers are getting ready to finish up qualifying here. So let's go ahead and go over the grid before we get going here. Scott, at least get some of these. I'll have to wait a moment for actual qualifying to be done. Scott, what are we looking for in tonight's race? Right now, looking like Trey Whitehead might be the guy on pole. What can you expect here after 150 laps?
Yeah, and one thing that I think is going to be significant to watch is looking at really the top 5 qualifiers at this point in time. Trey Whitehead obviously leading that bunch. We'll talk about the rest of them in a little bit. Their fastest practice times were very on point with their qualifying times, and that shows that their speed, whether they're running solo or in a pack on a used racetrack or by themselves, they're able to maintain that same speed, and that's going to be crucial when it comes to tire management later on in the race and being able to conserve that fuel, because Kansas is not a track where you're going to see many cautions.
No. Kansas is a track that bodes well to long green flag runs, which makes me love it so much. Previously mentioned, Trey Whitehead is going to be on pole today. Christopher Tate, newcomer to the league, joining in this week from Orion Motorsports, going to be starting in second. Brock Whitehead going to be in third. Robert Lawrence rounds out that second row. And the third row goes to Mark Gonzalez. We've seen how fast he's been. We'll see if he can finally capitalize and grab himself a victory today. Alex Coffey is going to be in sixth. That fourth row belongs to Chris Wheeler, Kyle Spees, Wes Fuller, Daniel Miglin. Round out your top 10. We're going to go just through your top 10 today because we have, just like we did last week, an honorary starter for tonight's race, and it's going to be the number 77 of Patrick McQuaid. So in just a moment, we will bring him on in. Hold on with everybody. Still coming, getting ready to hit pit lane. Just got a couple of more drivers that got to get on the grid, and then our honorary starter, Patrick McQuaid, will jump in and give us the starting command. Scott, man, how awesome is it that we get an opportunity to have an invocation, the national anthem, and the starting command before a race?
You know what, Angel? It feels just like race day in real life. So many times have I logged on to iRacing to run a league race or even, public official or non-official races, and it's those little luxuries you realize are really what make it special.
Man, it's, of course, me being at Daytona 500, I know exactly what it feels like to have that opportunity. We're getting ready. Let's go ahead and bring him on in. Oh, I think we may have been just running a moment late. Sorry, everybody. Patrick, I hope we're not too late here for our starting command.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right, getting ready to hear these engines begin to roar. Drivers starting to come off of pit lane. Patrick, thank you so much for being our honorary starter tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're working on that, everybody. We'll figure something out that works a little bit better for everybody. Just our second week doing it. Just trying to make it the best experience for everybody and the fans here. So little by little, week in, week out, we'll get something that works. Move on here. As we mentioned, Trey Whitehead been fast all season long. Last week, didn't quite get that finish I think that he could have been capable of. And then we'll have to see Christopher Tate. We've heard a lot of talk about him and how fast he can be, whether or not he's going to be a threat to some of these drivers. And can he win in his first start in the Ghost Cup Series?
Well, he's put himself in a position to do that starting second, but as we know and as we've seen in the past, you can never count out anyone in the name whose last name is Whitehead, whether that's Trey or his brother Brock starting right behind him.
All right, looks like we're getting ready to go. Green flag racing here. Pace cars down. Green flag, 150 laps we have here at Kansas Speedway in tonight's Ghost Cup Series presented by the Fort Worth Screen Printing Company. Trey Whitehead has Christopher Tate all over his outside. Can he hold on to him as they go through 1 and 2?
You see the 34 of Robert Lawrence starting in that second row, already trying to push it to the wall. And really you can see from these angles how close those drivers are getting to that wall on the backstretch, as it looks like Christopher Tate is going to have a little bit of an advantage going into turn 3. It doesn't look like he's going to hold it coming out of turn 4. Trey Whitehead to leader.
Man, you saw he got loose. Oh, they're wrecking there down the front stretch. Looks like two guys going for this. Oh, no, they came back down, and somebody's got massive damage there.
At first, it looked like it wasn't going to be too bad. Maybe only two guys in that one coming, into the trial to the start-finish line. And then as they come across the track, you see more cars getting collected in that.
All right, let's try to find our best angle, camera angle that we can possibly get here. You see, coming off of the turn, the 24 slides up. The 36 is there. Contact, nowhere to go. Once that you hit that wall, it just sucks you right back out. And that seems what happened. And Kyle Speed stopped the middle. Oh, he just gets clobbered by somebody else. Just nowhere to go for some of these drivers.
Yeah, and despite a track like Kansas where it's as wide as it is, you can produce some solid 3-4 lane racing. When cars start spinning out, especially on that front stretch and going into the tri-oval, you realize very quickly how little room there actually is on a track like this.
Yeah, and what's so important to know is that it's a very slick track, and then cold tires, it's hard to be 3-4 wide coming off of a turn here. It's very much capable, but on old tires, it's just hard to keep the car under you. You're going down the straightaway where it's not even the straightaway, it's a tri-oval, and you have the apron down there. It's so slick, so many opportunities to really lose it and cause an accident. It seemed like just I think that was 24 Mark Gonzalez getting loose there off of turn 4 on these cold tires, and heavy damage for him and a couple other guys.
Yeah, and that's one thing that makes Kansas unique from other, mile-and-a-half tracks, such as Chicago or Las Vegas, is the fact that the shape of it is unique, and it forces you to almost turn all the way around the track minus the backstretch. I know that sounds like a very obvious thing to say, but tracks like Las Vegas and Chicago, you can straighten out a little bit going into the trial, coming out of turn 4, going into turn 1, whereas at Kansas, it's kind of just a big loop, very similar to a track like Richmond, where you're almost turning, to some degree, almost the entire way around the track. And like you mentioned, on cold tires, that can become crucial early on restarts or after, green flag pit stops.
Well, I mean, and just plays into that factor of the tire wear here. So you'll be seeing drivers who can hold tire wear the best, and I think that could be the guy who wins tonight's race. Or maybe a later race caution, the guy fastest on cold tires could be the guy pulling one off. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of pit strategies we get through tonight's race. Of course, we have limited fuel and tires for this session tonight's race. Each of these drivers with 75% fuel capacity and 4 additional sets of tires, which means they have 5 total sets, giving them about 30 laps a set. And Scott, 30 laps of racing at Kansas is still more than I would like on my tires.
Oh, definitely. I cannot imagine having to run 30 laps here, green flag on tires. I did in a league a few weeks ago, and it was torture. I don't enjoy it. But as we're at the one to go on the backstretch, let's hear from race control Greg, see who that caution ended up responsible for and what we should look forward to. Greg?
Thank you. We're not going to give anybody fault for that. They're changed the rule a little bit. Not every caution is going to have an at-fault driver. So that was more of a racing deal. The 35 just kind of drove her in and then got up into the wall. Or 36, I'm sorry. But the 24 did ask for an EOL because of damage. So if you've seen him going to the back, that's why.
There you go. That answers our question. Thank you very much, Greg. League continuing to develop the rules as they go. Nothing's ever perfect. It may look so on paper, but it takes some trial and error to find out. Getting ready to go green flag racing once again. 4 laps will be completed now. Trey Whitehead decides to take the outside here. Doesn't get quite a good run. I think this might be the advantage to the 54, Christopher Tate.
Yeah, and we saw earlier in the run, Christopher Tate, last time at the green flag, got a great run from the outside lane. But this will be one of those where Trey Whitehead may just be trying to see how that outside lane works, as well as having his brother, Brock Whitehead, behind him. And we're going to see the 18 of Alex Coffey push it 3 wide, and they're going to hold that 3 wide going into turn 3.
Wow. Though they're going to hold it, but somebody else will not be able to hold it. We're going to have a caution flag here. They were 3 wide for the lead there and did a great job holding it through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Angel, one thing I want to point out about the 3 wide as well is you could see from the aerial view what we were looking at, how much space there still was on that racetrack. You could have comfortably fit a 4-car in there.
And we're going to try to go through the pack here and maybe see what could have happened maybe that brought this caution out. Oh, I see the 83 of Joseph David right there. He had some contact. We're going to back this up ever so slightly. Jump into one of our different camera angles for everybody. So he's got the 0-0 Vernon Reesters outside, and of course the scoring pylon gets in the way at that moment in time. Poor thing for the 39 of Gardner. I don't know if Ron Gardner's got another faster pair left. He had made heavy contact in that first wreck.
Yeah, this is the misfortune of a track like this, these mile and a halves. When wrecks like this do happen, they are known to clobber a lot of the field, and if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can find your night ending very early.
That might be an unfortunate situation right now for that 39 of Ron Gardner. Let's see, you got right now Charles Whitehead, the number 28. Only car not on the lead lap. Actually, sorry, one of two cars not on the lead lap. Him along with Nick Biddy, the 28 and the 85 cars. Aside from that, just about everybody staying out here. Only maybe 1-2 laps of tires on, or green flag laps on these tires. So really, unless you're out back and just trying to top off on fuel, same thing goes as the last one. Stay out, keep that track position.
Yeah, and at this point, it seems like the only people that are coming down pit road are those, who are involved in these wrecks. So, if fuel is a concern, I wouldn't worry about it right now. I would let the green flag pit stop cycle through when those come. Or, of course, if we're under caution, kind of wait until the leaders to make your move. If I'm further back in the pack, I'm not going to press the issue quite yet.
Yep, that's definitely a different way of looking at it. I can agree with that one more, probably because I don't know, it sounds better. Sue Nowak is always joining us on the chat and YouTube. Thank you so much. Saying some tough luck there for the number 36. But she's right. It's only just the beginning. So let's roll. Plenty of time to make it up. We got about, believe we should have 142 laps to go, probably. Nope, not quite going one to go just yet. So, Scott, here we are, 7 races into the season. Playoffs looming, not quite, but we're kind of at the halfway point. If you're not already top 10 in points, what is your mindset maybe going into the rest of the season?
I suppose there's 2 different mindsets you could take, Angel. The first one I think is the more aggressive approach, probably the approach I would take personally, and that's the go win. There's no better way to catapult yourself into a position you need to be in than to win. But the other approach is just to be a little more mindful of what you're doing on the track. We've seen a lot of even front runners get caught up in some misfortune the last few weeks. Your leader, the 33 Trey Whitehead, a good example of that. But I would just try to stay out of trouble and run a race very similar to bring a name up from last week, Kevin Gibney Jr., who kind of just found himself in the right place at the right time and pulled out a top 5 finish. That's the kind of strategy that you could also run. Just being very mindful, not pushing the issue, and similar to something that the great Richard Petty once said, is you have to put yourself in position to be successful or to win, and then let luck carry you the rest of the way.
Yeah, luck does play such a big factor, believe it or not. We see the pace car coming across the start-finish line. Lights are off. Cars are double file once again. Trey Whitehead's going to take the outside again. And you're right, he's got Brock right behind him, his brother, to be able to push him down here into turn 1. We'll have to see if that's going to work, or does the aggressive Alex Coffey in that 4th position decide to maybe make it through wide. Good-looking paint scheme here for the 18. Very bright.
Absolutely. I love that paint scheme. I've loved all the paint schemes so far this year. As we're at the 1 to go, before green, want to hear from Race Control Greg once again and see kind of what the decision was on that caution.
After watching that from several different angles, it was determined that he just wasn't clear. He didn't intentionally try to go up in front of the 0-0, but the 83 definitely wasn't clear. Kind of like didn't listen to a spotter, kind of cleared himself. So we're not going to give anybody a fault for that. If he would have turned, if I would have seen the steering wheel turning right to get up in front of Vernon, then I would have called it on him. But he kept the wheel steady, so it was just kind of like a finishing the turn, car walked up a little bit.
All right, there's your answer. Regardless, he's the last car on the lead lap anyways right now, so not much further you can get with an EOL.
That's true.
Scott, go ahead. Let's do this one. 140 to go.
All right. Green flag is out. Trey Whitehead choosing the outside lane once again, going to bring us to the green end. Again, Christopher Tate getting a great run on the outside, but as we saw last time, Trey Whitehead able to hold the lead, so we'll see if that happens once again as they head into turn 1.
Yeah, he's going to have to get down right on that right rear quarter panel. We'll see. You see him come down ever so slightly, try to do some of that side drafting. He's got a pretty good run off of turn 2. They're going to go 3 wide. Here comes. No, it's going to be Brock Whitehead on the outside with Alex Coffey. They're 3 wide for second here in 3 and 4.
Yeah, and you see Alex Coffey in the 18 taking the advantage, having that middle lane, and now looks like he's going to try to cross over. The 54, Christopher Tate, dive below that white line, and they're 3 wide across the tri-oval. Trey Whitehead still your leader, going back into turn 1.
My goodness, this is what I was telling you, Scott. I love this track so much. Look at these cars fanned out, double wide, 3 wide for multiple opportunities throughout this field, keeping it clean with each other. Man, what fantastic racing we're seeing on lap 10 of 150 here at Kansas.
Yeah, and all the way back through the field as you work, you see cars taking different racing grooves, and you're going to see that the whole night. There's some people that do prefer to run. Oh, looks like we got a huge wreck from the leaders.
Goodness.
Wow, looks like the 18 of Alex Coffey, the 4 of Daniel Miglin. Quite a few guys running early up in the field involved in that one. There's the caution. Okay, I was going to say not quite yet, but there it is.
Let's see what exactly happened here with that yellow flag situation. We're going to jump on board with the 18. We're just looking just above here. See exactly what brought this caution out. Again, one of the front runners here. Looks like he was running maybe in the... Oh, Christopher Tate took the lead while we were going through the field. Oh, the 4 got into the wall off of the turn 4 and just collected the 18, and many more drivers nowhere to go. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the 48 of Ricky Gonzalez, the 46 of Joshua Billett are both also involved in that. Right before that wreck as well, a little bit further in front of your screen, you saw the 33 of Trey Whitehead also taking a good lick to the wall as well. That'll be something to watch.
Yeah, maybe wondering that's why he had lost the lead here at one point.
Well, Angel, you asked at the beginning of the race how the 54 of Christopher Tate could, make his presence known, as a newcomer to the league, and here we are 12, 13 laps in, and he's out front.
Yeah, doing so from the lead is gonna help his chances pretty darn well. I can agree with that one.
Yeah, and especially if this becomes a race where we start getting some green flag, runs that are extremely lengthy. Angel, you and I ran in the league here earlier last week that had a caution on lap 1 or 2 and then went the distance.
Yeah.
So if you can get those long green flag runs, being that leader and being able to set the tempo and the expectation for green flag pit stops can really put you, metaphorically speaking, no pun intended, in the driver's seat for how this race is going to play out.
No, I mean, you're perfectly right. It's going to be in the driver's seat. What they can do, couple of early cautions, kind of freak accidents. Really, the drivers have been overall very racy to start this race, and just kind of an unfortunate situation. You saw the 4 just smack the wall hard off the turn and kind of took everybody else with them.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing to keep in mind in this race, too, is right now we are on 3 cautions in the first 15 laps, which may sound a little concerning, but is a new track. Obviously, we talked about the cold tires. I'm certainly confident that that's not going to be the expectation moving forward. But if we're going to see a race that is, frequently filled with cautions, you need to start wondering are these drivers going to become more aggressive on restarts, trying to get 1 spot, get 2 spots, every couple laps before a caution comes out as well.
And I mean, you could not have said that in a better way. It's the race in the race, realizing how is this race going to go. You build your strategy, and you have a strategy before going in, but it all depends on how the race itself works out. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. If you feel like you're going to have too many cautions, you might have to push a little harder. But if you feel like you're going to get some good green flag runs, then you dial it back a little bit. It's all about finding that right time of aggression and saving tires. 5 total sets again, 30 laps to go on each set. You're going to imagine they might be able to make this set last them a little bit longer, definitely past that lap 30 mark, unless maybe we get a caution or we go green until that lap 30 mark or so. We do have our stage ends at laps 40 and 80, so also something to be aware of as well. I do believe at 40 laps with 75% fuel, they should be able to make it through the end of the first stage without having to hit pit road.
At this point in time, too, Angel, you start to wonder how many of these drivers will try to push that first set to that lap 40, get through stage 1 without pitting at all, especially given the fact we've seen 3 cautions. If you get 1 or 2 more cautions in this stage, there's really no reason to pit, which can really change your strategy up later on in the race. You can shorten those runs that you're making on those tires and try to get a little bit more speed, hitting pit road a few extra times.
Yeah, that's also a big difference as well. I mean, just So many things, man. So many decisions that you could be making. You're not really sure what the race-winning move is going to be. But I can guarantee you that the race-winning move is never going to be quite the same when you have 37 drivers that are available to show up for a race. And it looks like Alex Coffey with heavy damage to his number 18 Toyota Camry, looking like he might be out of today's opportunity to win today's race. Unfortunate, showing speed once again, and he was pretty fast last week and seemed to be stuck in another bad situation.
Yeah, as they come into turn 3, get a quick word from Greg on what happened that time.
Oh, the 4-car didn't lift like he should have and parked her in the wall and then caused a melee. A little update, even though we're not giving EOLs for every caution now, there still is a record kept of who caused and brought out cautions. So it will go through to their league record. It'll go towards that.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So the 4 probably did get his EUL. And we are back green flag racing once again here from the Kansas Speedway. Looking about 135 laps here to go. You see Christopher Tate decides he's going to take the outside and use a little bit of what the 33's been doing to him to take that lead right back from him.
Yeah, and Angel, I have to say I'm a little confused why these guys are taking the outside lane. It's been working, yes, but I keep thinking back to that initial restart and how Trey Whitehead really was just able to get out front quicker from that inside lane. But at this point in time, what I'm seeing is regardless of which lane you choose, being the one in control of the restart is really the ultimate advantage, regardless going into turn 1 and coming into the backstretch.
Well, and I think it's going to be ever so more clear later on in a run where you have older tires where, I mean, restarts are going to be so huge and try not to spin them because it's so easy to spin your tires at a track like Kansas. So if you see, man, Trey Whitehead just stuck there, seems like on the bottom. Seems like the high side seems to be the way you want to go right now, even though you see these drivers in the bottom, but maybe just Trey not quite prepared to run that inside today, and he's just struggling, losing now the 4th position to back-to-back winner Dylan McDonald in that number 38 Ford Mustang.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch as these tires start to wear out. There you see Trey kind of dip into the middle line there, a little high going into the corner, right in that middle. If you can pinch a guy down on the inside lane going into turn 1 on a restart when they're not really comfortable, you can pick up some great speed, especially when they're on old tires and they have to take a slower approach because they don't have that drive off the corner. And that's something you're seeing right now off of the 33 of Trey White, and that might explain the 54's decision to take that outside lane, realizing, you know, you can just get a better arc, you know, coming off the green flag going to the backstretch.
Right now, that 54 is currently under attack from the 33's brother, Brock Whitehead, on the inside now. But here comes Dylan McDonald winning 2 races back-to-back. He's looking to try to take the lead here early on. He's already up 10 spots from his 13th starting position. My goodness, he's a man on a mission today.
As you saw Dylan McDonald all over that rear bumper of the 54, it looks like he's going to maybe peak 3 wide, not ready to commit to it yet, but if you see that hole open up between the 31 of Brock Whitehead and the 54 Christopher Tate, don't expect Dylan McDonald to sit back and wait.
He got a little bit loose there. You saw him try to cut down on the corner. It looks like he got a little bit loose. It's going to allow Trey Whitehead to pull up to his back bumper as Christopher Tate holds clear now of Brock Whitehead as they go into turn 3. Back to the bottom there for Dylan McDonald. Trey Whitehead all the way to the outside. He's got Chris Wheeler. Some unfortunate situations for him the last couple weeks has kept him out of it, but he's been fast this year as well. Looking to show that. Now you have Robert Lawrence back after a hiatus, after he was not feeling well the last couple weeks. And last week's newcomer, John Curtis, making his way into the top 10 as well.
Up in front, you see a lot of drivers that we have seen consistently run up front.
Chris Wheeler gets into the wall. Not sure if he had help doing so. I don't know how they did not wreck there. Everybody does a great job of staying off of each other. We're going to evade ourselves. Another caution right there. Fantastic awareness for those drivers.
Oh, definitely, and this is one of those advantages, Angel, of having a track this wide where, you know, you saw the 6 of Chris Wheeler get into the wall and able to shoot to that inside lane and really avoid being stuck up in traffic. And another one right there. Unable to tell who that was bouncing off the wall. But being able to have such a wide track allows you to get out of the way and not have to worry about getting run over from behind.
Yeah, you want to know some of the top speeds that these drivers are hitting right now? We have one driver, Vernon Reese. He was able to hit the 200 miles per hour mark here at Kansas. That is what this draft does for you. And this setup is fantastic for it.
Yeah, this setup and being able to really get that draft on the backstretch will give you that high-end speed, and I can't imagine having to go 200 miles an hour down the backstretch and have to control that going into the corner.
Yeah, oh, you see Trey Whitehead all the way up against the wall. He is rim riding that thing up there, looking like Kyle Larson here.
Man, are we sure we're not at Darlington? Whew.
Oh man, that's one of the things that I love about a track like Kansas. You know, we've mentioned it a few times here in the broadcast. The reason why Kansas is so much fun like this is because you have this progressive banking. So really, depending on your driving style and really maybe the setup and how your car feels, you can be all the way up against that white line on the bottom, harvicking it as they call it, or right up against that wall as Dale Jr. and Kyle Larson also love to do.
Yeah, and again, you got to admire the multi-groove racing, and you're seeing it here. These drivers, as you saw in that shot right there between the 34, 38, and 17, able to comfortably run 3 wide just by each driver running their own respective lane. You're not worried about someone washing up into you. It's not like you're pinching each other. It's just a wide multi-groove track, and everyone feels comfortable running their line.
Man, look at the views that we get. These cars flying past them down on the backstretch. Going back to that, for those that maybe aren't... Oh, the 42 looks like he's going to tap into the wall here. Trying to jump back and see exactly who that was. A little bit of contact for him right there. That'll be Bryce Cobbler. He's going to show up as the number 25 across the screen. He is the number 42, however, on track for any of those that may be confused. Kind of looking like almost that old peanut... paint scheme that I can't remember who had it last couple years.
Yeah, that I am not certain. That almost looks like the old, was it the Alex Bowman paint scheme? With the nasty numbers?
I can see that, yeah. Oh, and you see it looks like, I'm not sure who was that in front of him. The 17 going to get into the wall there into the turn. So easy to tap the wall coming into the turn because you're trying to arc it so much. These turns benefit so well from arcing them. You're able to carry so much more speed. So 17 getting into the wall there as you see Wes Fuller and Alfred Denny pop into the picture trying to make this a 4-way battle for that 8th position. Jump back to your leader here. Christopher Tate still with the lead. Got a 0.3 of a second lead over Brock Whitehead. Trey Whitehead, his brother, running in second here. Dylan McDonald up 9 spots so far, running up against that outside. Robert Lawrence in 5th. DJ Daniel in a non-pink car for the first time this season, running in 6th. Jeffrey Vickery's in 7th. John Curtis in 8th. Wes Fuller in 9th. And Alfred Denny is battling it out with Bryce Cobbler for that 10th position. 28 laps into this. Getting ready to complete lap 28. What are you seeing here? What are the trends that you might be figuring out, Scott, about partway through this race?
As I'm watching these drivers run, one thing I'm realizing is the insistence on trying to find your lane. You're seeing a lot of drivers who are running different lanes, maybe differently in the corner, trying to see what's comfortable. And now that we're getting a green flag run, you're seeing these tires begin to settle in where drivers are having to adjust a little bit, maybe lift a little bit more in the corners, and be a little bit more mindful of the fact that they may be sliding if they overdrive in or power too much coming out. So just watching them kind of methodically work through that, I think you're going to see more aggressive racing later. But right now, again, stage 1 early, just trying to kind of get your feet wet.
Yes, we got these guys 3 wide now going into turn 1. That's the 11 of TJ Roberts. Christopher Hubka on that 5, and I believe that was the 4 of... No, I'm sorry, not Hubka. That was the 4 of Daniel Miglin and the 99 of Wally Babb. He was running pretty good last week into some unfortunate situation. Looks like he got some damage in one of those earlier wrecks as well today. Maybe trying to save that fast repair for later. Wally Babb, we'll look for him to move back up to the field as some of these other drivers as well we know can run up there. We'll have to see what they can do.
Yeah, watching some of these drivers running back, you have to think, Angel, you brought up a great point about saving fast repairs. This is a track where you're going to consistently, brush up against the wall if you run that outside lane. And then, of course, there's always the realization or the possibility of getting caught up in a wreck. If you're caught up in one earlier, you get a good look on the wall now, it may be worth it to either try to fix that damage or just accept it as a loss and save that fast repair for later, because you never know when you're going to need it, especially at a track like this. And if you get some late cautions, this could be a race where you end up seeing multiple green-white checkers to try to get through the finish just because of how aggressive this track can force drivers to be.
Man, I don't know if that was that a 17 to 38. Just give that wall a slight kiss going into that turn, man. Just a beauty the way these drivers make it work. And look at them side by side. They're running so hard and yet giving so much space between all these drivers, dedicated to making sure this league can stay successful, and they're putting on battles well worth this league. You see, it looks like the 24 of Mark Gonzalez tagged the wall right in front of there. Oh, the 17 is loose.
John Curtis.
I don't know if he's got
17 to John Curtis spinning through the tri-oval. Maybe not. Kind of.
KJ Roberts. Wow. No caution.
It's hard to tell, Angel, if there's something maybe broken on that 17 machine or if he's just struggling to get back up to speed. But definitely something wrong there. It looked like he tagged the wall a little bit coming out of turn 4, and then maybe lost it, kind of pressed against the wall coming across the start-finish line.
He's got a pretty good amount there, left rear damage. It's going to look like maybe when he got loose, a driver may have been right behind him and just drove into the back of him. You know, you're carrying so much speed and it's so hard to handle these cars. Sometimes you just doesn't know where to go if somebody gets into the wall right in front of you.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the 17 running that outside lane earlier with the 38 of Dylan McDonald, while the 2 of Alfred Denny, the 77 of Patrick McQuaid on their inside. And when you're halfway through these turns running that line, you're almost pot committed to that line. The ability to get off the throttle and transition out of the way, if someone in front of you is wrecking, is almost impossible. So to your point, it is very real that the 17 may have gotten clipped from behind when he hit the wall, and that's what caused that whole kind of stir up around the start-finish line for him.
See the 83 of Joseph David going one lap down now. We saw him involved in one of those wrecks earlier. Looks like he decided maybe not to use his fast repair. Now with this long green flag run, that damage really slowing him down quite a bit. DJ Daniels made his way up here into the 4th spot. He's now one of your biggest movers of the race. However, Bryce Cobbler in that 42, he's up 19 spots from his starting position, building up quite a rapport with these guys already in this first race.
Well, Angel, we do have a new leader, the 31 of Brock Whitehead, sneaking past the 54 of Christopher Tate. As you saw, as you cut back to the camera angle, around this time last lap, Christopher Tate looked like he clipped the wall a little bit coming out of turn 2. Brock Whitehead was able to overtake as they were going past the lap traffic on the backstretch last time. So we have a new leader once again, the 3rd one of the day.
Yeah, like you see Brock Whitehead making his way to the lead here. Christopher Tate now losing a couple spots here. Under attack from DJ Daniel for that 3rd position. DJ looking to the outside, going to carry a ton of momentum here through 1 and 2.
And that 96 car may not be pink this week, but that is still a beautiful paint scheme.
Yeah, he's got a great looking one there in that Ford Mustang. As looks like Tate maybe used up his tires early on to try to get that lead. Talks about the importance of finding that balance of saving tires and being fast at the start of the run. It looks like Tate found a way to be fast at the start of this one, but he's dropping quickly now as looks like we're about 20-something laps here into this run.
Yeah, and there's about 3 laps to go at this point in this stage. We're going to come to the 2 to go in the stage this time by. And it's worth mentioning, like you said earlier, Angel, these drivers were going to target roughly 30 laps on each set of tires. Now, granted, there were a handful of cautions in there, but if you're looking at green flag run laps, you're probably at about lap 30 at this point. So that's going to be an interesting strategy that these drivers are noting. They've had probably about 30 green flag laps run on these set of tires and how they're going to manage that moving forward.
As you mentioned, they are going to be the end of the stage here soon. Brock Whitehead taking the lead right when he needed to, but he's got a hungry Robert Lawrence all over his back bumper, and they got Zach Woods right in front of them. Zach's going to have to try to stay on the lead lap here with heavy damage. Looks like he's going to go to the bottom and let the leaders go right on by. He should be able to get the lucky dog nonetheless.
Yeah, not the worst case in the world for Zach Woods right there, as it looks like, barring anything significant, he'll pick up the lucky dog. The 31 of Brock Whitehead coming across the line right there on lap 40.
That should be it. Yep, he's got the stage win there. What a battle there. DJ Daniel making his way into the 3rd position. Man, some fantastic racing just for that stage, and a caution coming out. Man, almost feels like I don't want it to. These guys were doing so good. Such great battles we were seeing. I really wanted to see what these tires can do, but that's what that last stage is going to be. It's going to be 70 laps, that final stage.
Yeah, and there's a very realistic chance, Angel, as we talked about, You could go grind those entire 70 laps. It is not out of the realm of possibility at a track like this. If I were a betting man, this is one of those tracks where I would bet that you're going to have minimal cautions. And yeah, as we saw in stage 1, you kind of get the aggressiveness out of the way early, get those tires warmed up, and then people get in their comfort zone, and here we are green the rest of the way.
All right, let's. We're gonna wait here. If they pit now, we'll hold on. If they don't pit just yet, we're gonna bring in Brock Whitehead, our stage winner. We'll hold on just a moment to see if they hit pit lane. Something we're gonna try to keep doing as well. Building each and every week with the Ghost Cup series, trying to really build something that matches this league broadcast wise, and we're having a ton of fun here. So we're gonna see if we can't bring in our stage 1 winner. He's gonna hit pit lane, so we're gonna hold on just a moment. Reason being, we're gonna let these guys hit their pit boxes smoothly, not be in their ears bothering them, and make sure they're able to execute their pit strategy best possible way. So while they do that, Scott, we're gonna ask Brock, but what do you think the plan should be here for stage 2 in these next 40 laps?
Well, it's another 40-lap run at this point. I'm going to race aggressively. It's again, something you could probably get through without having to pit. But you also want to watch what just happened to the 54 Christopher Tate and not drive so aggressive so early on that you melt the tires in. You end up fading fast near the end of the run.
Kind of surprising Jeffrey Vickery's going to stay out. Not sure if this is so he can lead a lap. Brock Whitehead's going to come off pit lane in the first position. Robert Lawrence right behind him. DJ Daniel as well. Kyle Speed's big jump here. Back up to that 5th position after seeing him involved in a wreck early on in this race.
It's always nice to see that 36 of Rocket Speeds making his way back up, and even sitting in about the 8th position right now. Don't think he's going to sit back there long. Kyle Speeds will find his way to the front of this pack.
All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in Brock Whitehead into the booth with us. Give a little chat with Cleburne, Texas native here. Let's go ahead and just a moment. If it works this time. There you go. Brock, this is Angel and Sky. I know we just interrupted your conversation. Decided we want to talk to the stage 1 winner.
Oh, no, you're good. That was actually Trey talking there on iRacing, but yeah, you're good.
Brock, kind of coming there out of nowhere, the last couple laps of that stage, being able to save your tires a little bit better than Christopher Tate did to steal that stage victory. These next 40 laps, I can't imagine we're going to see as many cautions as we did in that first stage. So how does the tire wear become that much more important in this one?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more important in this one. We had a caution every, 3 laps that stage, and then we got a long green flag run. So I'm going to save my tires a lot more than I did last time. And hopefully we can get another stage win, because that really help us out on points.
Well, Brock, I don't think you're sitting too bad in points either. You've had yourself a good couple of weeks, kind of almost in the shadow of Trey Whitehead, but you're putting yourself together pretty solid standing, or points-wise after each race. We do wish you luck, and hopefully we get a chance to talk to you at the end of this one, and even maybe at the end of stage 2.
Yep, thank you.
Brock, before you go, I got one last question for you.
Yep.
What position do you play in football?
Well, that's actually a 8th grade photo, but I was receiver and kick return and cornerback.
Love it. Thanks, buddy. Have a good race.
Yep, thank you.
Always nice to get to know some of these guys here.
That's one thing that Angel that I have to tell you. By the way, side note before we go any further, as Brock mentions in his little bio there, cone lives do matter. I need to point it out every week.
Yes, they do. We do have a
So
select
many
few drivers.
times, Angel, do I see the blue cone on the backstretch at the end of the pit exit get hit intentionally. Cone lives matter.
Well, I am eager to see, does anybody take it out here? Any takers?
I feel like there's always one that's got to dive down and do it.
No, but he's, oops, let's see. Does Zach Woods do it? No, looks like
almost.
These, cone lives do matter. Look at that. They're going to make it through here. Getting that, getting the awareness out there.
Absolutely. But to your point, Angel, it is really cool to have these driver bios and be able to get to know these drivers on a personal level rather than just, what we see digitally on a screen every Wednesday night.
Mark, getting ready to go green here. Scott, take it away.
All right, that pace car takes the dive in, and it's going to be the 31 of Brock Whitehead waiting for that green flag to drop, and there it is. He's going to lead the field from that outside lane. The 34 Robert Lawrence on his inside. They're going to be side by side going down into turn one. The rows behind them staying side by side as well. And the 36 of Kyle Spees getting a nice jump with the 77 of Patrick McQuaid behind him. The 31 of Brock Whitehead going to maintain the lead going down the backstretch.
Man, look at that push he's going to have from the 36 of Kyle Spees from behind him. The Rocket making his way up here now, looking to be taking that second position. And look who's moved into the picture. Alfred Denny here into the top 5 looking under DJ Daniel.
Yeah, and you saw the 96 of DJ Daniel bail to that outside lane as the caution's out. And that really kind of hurt the run from the 34 of Robert Lawrence as he lost that help immediately behind him and had to rely on Alfred Denny, who was 2 or 3 car lengths back at that point, allowing the 31 of Brock Whitehead and the 36 of Kyle Spees to easily maneuver past them.
We're looking here now on the 48 of Ricky Gonzalez. Missed him last week. He's back with us this week. Oh, looks like they're wrecking far before him here. Let's see if we can get a good view as to what happened there. No, looks like the 86, the boss man there, Jonathan Leach. Let's try to find a way to... Boy, we're not going to get a good break at all on these to see what happened. I'm going to jump it back here. Oh, massive wreck there. It looks like the 11 came... 11 got into the 46, shot down into the 86. Oh, heavy damage for quite a few drivers. Nice save there from the 86, Jonathan Leach, but TJ Roberts was just heavy damage along with that 46, the newcomer, Bryce Cobbler.
It looked like the 55 of Nicholas Panico was almost going to get gobbled up in that and just miraculously looked like David Reagan on Sunday and just somehow in magic got through it.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look there from that from his onboard view. Let's see where I can find him. The 55.
That beautiful solo cup car.
Yeah, we're gonna jump on board actually with him and see what kind of handwork he's got to do. Oh, he's right behind this, right in front of him. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! That's a pucker moment right there. I think he's gonna need a new pair of pants after this one.
Yeah, no kidding. And he may have gotten clipped a little bit, in the right side near the back of the car in that wreck. But either way, that could have been much worse. And even if he did get clipped, being able to maintain staying straight and not end up getting hooked into the wall himself is nothing short of impressive.
Completing now what should be lap 47 here of the 150. Going to be a third of the way through this race already. Feels like we're getting through this one a little quicker than we have as of late. Really going to maybe amp up some of the anxiety for some of these drivers trying to make their way to the front.
Angel, that's a good point you bring up. This race is ticking down a lot faster than even last week's race at Las Vegas. That was, a track the same size, same laps, so on. And I think these drivers are realizing that these green flag runs, when they start, they don't stop because of how wide out and spread out this field can get. So, I mean, and look back at the last green flag run we had. The only reason it came to an end was the end of the stage. So I think these drivers realize that at any moment that green flag run can happen, and it could potentially be 30, 40, maybe even if it's stage 3, 70 laps before you see another break in action.
Oh, there it is.
No!
That'd be the third place car of Robert Lawrence.
He had to have been listening.
I think he was.
Robert, you're killing me.
And cones.
And and the cone, yes.
You see that number 4 car making his way back up to the field as well, being involved in one of those probably our biggest wreck of the day. I'm going to assume he had to use a faster pair to get through there, looking like he's got a pretty clean car. So he's made his way back up into that 7th position. Chris Hubka, the boss man here for the Ghost Cup Series, making his way into the top 10 here. That good-looking Twix machine. Man, I could eat the Twix right now. These things are delicious.
Oh, I love Twix, man. It's one of my favorite candy bars. But you know what? It's great to see the boss up here. We missed them a couple races this season, and if you watched Vegas last week, he has had quite an eventful week. So nice to see him running well. And by the way, what a great First off, what a great fire suit that is, but what an even better helmet.
Oh my goodness, it's the crash test dummy helmet.
It's a Lego crash test,
Oh
crash
my
test dummy helmet.
goodness, I love it. Got the ripped jeans. It looks like an AC/DC t-shirt with some with a plaid shirt there. I love it.
Oh, love it. If that does not scream 90s, I don't know what does.
Oh, you gotta love the creativity you can get from some of these drivers and just the overall minds in the racing community that upload these to trading paints for us. Man, iRacing does provide us quite a bit of fun, and it's an excitement to go each and every Wednesday here with the Ghost Cup Series. Thankfully presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing out of course, Fort Worth, Texas.
Absolutely, and
You'll find them on the B pillars actually of the Rick Ware racing cars, and on occasion the main sponsorship for some of those Xfinity cars. Always check a look out for those.
yeah, I can't wait to see those, in person myself, whether it's Road America or Daytona later on this year. But for now, that pace car takes that big dive off. Brock Whitehead from the outside in the restart zone, going to lead us back to the green flag. This time he's got a new face on the inside of him, the 36 at Kyle Rocket Spees, and he's living up to his nickname, Rocket, getting a great jump going down into turn one. He's actually going to lead going into the turn. We'll see if Brock Whitehead can get it back as they get to the backstretch.
I think this is the last lap. You see the 36 slide up in front of him. He's going to give him the room here, though. The 31's got a hell of a run on the outside with a big push from DJ Daniel. Robert Lawrence is going to lay there in third. They're going to spread out, still side by side for first, second, third, fourth, all the way through, good 5 or 6 rows deep as they come off turn number 4.
And we're seeing some new faces up here mixed in with some familiar ones. Brock Whitehead, Kyle Spees, Robert Lawrence, DJ Daniel, Patrick McQuaid, your top 5. All names that we know can run in the front and all ready to fight for the end of this stage as we come to about 30 laps to go in this stage.
Yeah, you see the that number 77 of Patrick McQuaid. He's seen how fast he's been in our Tuesday night league that we broadcast here, the American Truckers League, winning multiple races already in that season, yet not quite finding the luck here. He's got the speed. We'll have to see if Lady Luck is going to be on his favor this week in Kansas, which just so happens to have a casino just outside the track. So definitely looking to draw some luck from the casinos, maybe.
Hey, similar to that, the guy on the inside of him, the 2 of Alfred Denny, another individual who we've seen show very impressive runs this year, but not really ever able to make it to the front of the pack, not able to really put himself in a position to win, but always seems to find himself running very consistently top 10, top 15.
You know, looking at Al's car, again, it's probably one of my favorites here, but I'm never allowed. We can't vote for him for paint scheme of the race. I think it's becomes a little biased then Al being one of our close friends. So sorry, Al, that you won't ever get to win paint scheme of the race, but it certainly is a mighty fine one, especially with my love for anything Pirates.
You know what? I'm sure at some point this season we can squeeze Al into that in a non-biased way, but Angel, I'm telling you, I'm starting to look at some of these paint schemes this week, and I got a few in mind on which one might take my case home.
All right, let's hear then. We got 54 laps here. We got about, I believe, 25 laps until just over 26 laps until the next stage end, and we're looking like a nice green flag run as these drivers continue to spread out on this very wide racing surface.
Ignoring kind of the perennial, paint schemes, Alfred Denny, the 4 of Daniel Miglin, which I love very much, and the 5 of Nicholas Panico, that solo car. I really have to say that I like that 96 of DJ Daniel kind of showing a new paint scheme this week. Not the pink we're used to, but just the very clean-cut white car. That is beautiful, my friend.
Well, I love that, he's got that typical Ford black stripe down the hood and just that nice big circle right in the middle. I don't know, it always feels like something the Fords love to do. But don't forget, that fire suit is still very clearly pink. Look at that. You can hear it from so far away.
Yeah, and I think the number font even looks very nice. The way that the 9 is, it looks very similar to the font that Stewart Haas Racing uses on that 98 in the Xfinity series. Gives me a nice little throwback to the Chase Briscoe days, so that is a paint scheme that that's going to be one of my finalists for today.
Yeah, I love it. Very, very bright suit. You can see that one from him afar as he's continuing to try to battle there with Brock Whitehead. As Kyle Rocket Speeds looks to continue to extend his lead now by half a second. Got to worry, though. Is it too early? And maybe it's Brock Whitehead and maybe Robert Lawrence, but specifically Whitehead, is he playing that long game again, saving those tires as he did in that last one?
Well, DJ Daniel, Brock Whitehead may not have seen him coming, but he certainly saw the fire suit coming, and DJ Daniel has moved up to second place.
Yeah, DJ making his way into that second position. It's Robert Lawrence in fourth. Alfred Denny, along with DJ Daniel, both up 12 spots in this race. However, not our biggest mover so far. Bryce Cobbler is still your biggest mover there, up 16 spots. Chris Hupka up 13 spots there into the 14th position. We got a gaggle of cars over here from 10th on back.
I think what you're seeing in these cars, Angel, that are making these 12, 13, 15 spot jumps at this point is that tire management, guys that just are being consistent, putting down consistent laps. And as these green flag runs, begin to tick up in lap count, these are the guys that are going to slowly make their way through the field because they're just doing that. They're caring for their cars and they're caring for their tires.
Yeah, tire care is going to be pretty big here. These Goodyears are worth every bit, every penny that they can be. As you see, Hupka consider taking him 3 wide. Oh, I know Hupka really wanted to do it, but as a league owner, it's hard to put him 3 wide. You might get a little bit of judgment for it.
Oh, yeah, and I can tell you, Angel, these drivers are unforgiving if you start making those aggressive moves, especially at this point. And the boss, he's a very smart driver, wants to keep his car clean, so now is not the time nor the place to press that issue, as we still have 90 laps to go.
Yeah, 90 laps to go, but the battle for the lead is right now. DJ Daniel all over the back bumper here of the 36 of Rocket Speeds. He's going to move to the outside, 2 different lanes. We're jumping on board here to see, look at him work the wheel, and listen to him work the throttle. You see the 36 slide up in front of him. 96 is going to have a big run here through the front stretch. Can he make something happen 1 and 2? He's going to stay patient and hold on as the 36 takes away his lane. Some of that dirty air now.
Well, and if you see behind him, the 31 of Brock Whitehead, 34 Robert Lawrence following DJ Daniel as well. If he gets a chance to get back to that outside of Kyle Spees like he did in turn 3 last time around, he might get enough of a push to be able to clear Kyle Spees as we hit one of the straightaways.
Man, you see, look at the 31. He's all over him right there. He's looking to find his way back up to the lead here. We've got a blanket over the top 3 drivers, just 0.2 of a second separating them. We are now 61 laps completed in a 150-lap event here for the Ghost 200 at Kansas. Look at these drivers all on top of each other. You can throw a blanket over the top 5, all within 0.4 of each other. DJ's loose off of turn 2. It's a battle now with Brock Whitehead into turn 3.
Oh, Brock Whitehead lost his patience there following DJ Daniel, trying to get both of them past Kyle Speeds, and he said, you know what? I'm going to go do it myself. And he gets around DJ Daniel, and now he's going to take his shot at the 36 of Rocket Speeds.
Right now, the battle behind. Here comes Alfred Denny on the inside of Robert Lawrence. The outside is where the momentum is. But if you've got a good handling race car, if you saved your tires better than that guy on the outside, sometimes making the pass is significantly easier on the inside. This time, not so much for Al, but look who's making his way back up here. Christopher Tate kind of disappeared a little bit, running in the 6th position, trying to make his way back up here to the lead. Wes Fuller right behind him. Jeffrey Vickery as well, as here comes another big group of cars. A lot of fast cars in this one here.
Yeah, the 33 of Trey Whitehead, 24 of Mark Gonzalez back there. And as you can tell, there's a big drop-off from those first, 5 cars, and then 6 and 7 are kind of running by themselves. And then from there, it's kind of a way back. So you can definitely tell where that tire management is coming in, where those consistent laps are coming in, and where drivers may be beginning to fall off on their lap times at this point.
Yeah, speaking of lap times, you see Alfred Denny. I think Al had him clear. He could have cut up in front of him, decided not to, gave Robert Lawrence the room, just paying him a little respect early in this race as we move into the second third of it. Tire management, these cars are right now almost 2 seconds slower than some of their fastest laps now as they're this deep into this run. Tires. We still got another 15, 16 laps to go left in this stage. We'll have to see who's done the best job, but Brock Whitehead put this man back into the lead. He seems to be the guy to beat when it comes to saving tires. It's DJ Daniel loose under Kyle Speeds there. Don't know how they made it through, as Alfred Denny behind him clears Robert Lawrence for 4th.
Oh, and Alfred Denny going to shoot to the inside of DJ Daniel. He's really one of the only drivers that's made passing on that inside work consistently tonight. So look for Alfred Denny to kind of continue to chew off, try to get a good stage end here. But he and Robert Lawrence, they have a nice cat and mouse game going on, kind of giving and taking, and it looks like Al's almost going to try to use DJ Daniel as a pick on the 34, and it's not going to work out in his favor. DJ Daniel's going to clear him, and Robert Lawrence is going to get a great run on his outside.
Man, these guys continue to battle back and forth here for the 4th position. You don't want to battle too long. You see Christopher Tate at 54 and Wes Fuller making their way into this conversation in the top 7. You're also using up your tires trying to do this, as he's can't quite clear Robert Lawrence still.
Oh, and Al and, Robert Lawrence just continuing to have this cat and mouse. Even when Al passed Robert Lawrence, you could see as they got into the next turn, Robert Lawrence crossed them back over, and that's just been the story of these two racing side by side. But as you mentioned,
I think DJ got into the wall there.
Yeah, DJ Daniel's been running very loose the last few laps. As you see him washing up some of the turns, he had to have flipped the wall. There's no other way to explain how he shot down the track like that. He's going to lose a lot of ground, allowing the 34 of Robert Lawrence, the 2 of Alfred Denny to get ahead of him, and now the 54 of Christopher Tate back in the top 5.
Yeah, DJ tagged the wall there. Doesn't look too heavy. Maybe 15, 20 seconds of repair. Nothing too major. That's going to take him out of an opportunity for top 5 or even top 3 points here at the end of the stage. But he's got a good distance, almost 2 seconds to the guy behind him. Should be able to take this next 10 or 11 laps kind of calmly and keep this car under him. Don't want to have to use your fast repair in the first half of this race. We're inching ever so closely to that 80 lap mark.
Yeah, and Christopher Tate taking over the 4th position from Alfred Denny. He'll fall back to 5th. And you bring up a good point about these cars as they're bouncing off the wall. You just got to take care of it at this point. You've got, about 10 laps left in the stage at this point. Just keep it clean and know that there's a bigger picture. And that's very similar to what we saw the 54 Christopher Tate do, is now he's working his way back up. He knows he can win. No point in pressing the issue right now.
Yeah, don't want to press the issue too much. You're right here in this position where you can make up some good stage points, but definitely don't want to take yourself out of it completely doing that. You see DJ Daniel losing ever so more time. I think he's losing a ton of time right now to Trey Whitehead. He might fall outside of the top 10 over the next 10 laps here. These guys are flying using that outside as they continue to try to figure out who's going to get what position behind them. As you see the 38, Dylan McDonald going to go take it 3 wide. And there is the caution break right there. This is not for the stage end. I almost got confused. I said, oh, goodness, did I mess that up? But no, this is, I think it's your favorite paint scheme, the 55 of Nicholas Panico. Looks like he's involved. Oh, he's going to just get too high, gets into the wall. The 22's behind him, nowhere to go. They just make contact. Oh, heavy damage there for the 55.
Oh, that is painful. And, that goes back to the conversation we had earlier, Angel, that when you're following someone into these corners, you don't have the luxury like you might on other tracks to be able to check up and reroute your lane. You're kind of committed once you start arcing into that corner. And as you saw in the 22, with the, following the 55, there's just nowhere for the 22 to go. You either have to run him over or slow yourself down and hope you don't get run over.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to slow down on these old tires like this. They're hot, they're warm, these guys were really going to start to struggle just on the racetrack. Then you got to stop for a car immediately in front of you. I mean, just know where to go in that situation. We'll have to see where Greg marks that one. Question is now, we're probably going to have less than 5 laps to go in this stage. Who's coming in for tires and who isn't? What do you do?
Angel, I was just about to ask you that question.
I beat you to it, sorry.
If I'm anywhere close to stage points, I'm staying out at this point. If I'm out of contention, I'm coming in and making up that position at the end of the stage, get the pit stop out of the way now. And then really you can kind of split stage 3 down the middle, or, a little bit better than you could, maybe pitting with 70 laps to go. It's going to be more of an 80, 40-40 type thing. Moving forward.
Everybody would have to stop at least one more time regardless. So you're right. May as well come in now and be set for the end of the next stage. Or
yeah, that's
the end of
my
the
thought.
stage.
It's kind of my thought at this point. It's very interesting to see this strategy, and you're seeing it. A lot of guys coming in using that mentality of, I'm not going to get stage points. I'm going to come in and I'm going to get my tires. And you know what? Seeing the amount of cars in Pit Road, Angels, some of these guys might get stage points. Maybe they blow past some of these top 10, and it actually works out, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Well, almost 30 lap difference on these tires is what you're going to see. You see, looks like TJ Roberts. I didn't see Cliff Corvu make a pit stop. Not sure exactly. For a fact, though, TJ Roberts would be the first guy out there with fresh tires. Restarting 21st. I don't know if 5 laps. Even then, I maybe wouldn't even try. I would just back it off and let those guys duke it out, and hopefully don't take yourself out of contention in that sense of getting damaged maybe on a restart.
Yeah, it's very difficult to watch at this point to see kind of what the strategy is, especially, Angel, if you're sitting in that like 8th place to 15th place threshold on how much do you push the issue for maybe 1 or 2 points.
Greg?
Yes, I am here. We're actually going to give our first EOL of the night on Noah Owens. The 55 did park it in the wall, but I mean, he kept on going straight. Noah got to his back bumper and then turned left and then throttled up. So that could have easily been avoided. All he had to do was lift a little bit more and not jab it in the left rear of the 55. So he will be our first EOL of the night.
All right, that's the 22 Noah Owens filling in for Mike Sabanovsky today. You see him dropping to the bottom and taking his EOL now. You still have 31 drivers, I believe, on the lead lap, so quite a bit of cars still out there at the moment.
So, Angel, let me ask you at this point in time, as we're kind of nearing the end of Stage 2, going into Stage 3, and you know that Stage 3 is going to be roughly 70 laps to complete. If you're a driver, what's your strategy for managing that potential long run in relationship to cautions versus what we've seen in Stage 1 and Stage 2 so far?
Well, I think it depends where you're going to be restarting. You know, for these guys that are going to get the stage points right now, they're going to have to come down pit lane. I think from there really is just manage your tires in that first run. Everybody's kind of right on top of each other. You're going to have a couple of different varying strategies, people pushing it too hard, people saving too much. I think you got to stick with what works. Save the tires for that first run. Maybe go a little bit harder at that second state, that's kind of that second half of that 80-lap run, because I think you'd be more than likely to see some late race cautions, and you want to be as far up as possible. So I'd say safe for this first 40, maybe be aggressive in the second 40.
That's a good insight. I think you bring up a good point, Angel, that despite it being a longer run, you still need to stay aggressive, but obviously not to the point of putting yourself in danger. What would you say, Angel, is the chance that Stage 3 almost goes green the entire way?
I fully believe that we will have at least 60 laps of green flag racing in that final stage. We could possibly see an early caution on some fresh tires. It's been a little bit since we've had a caution or a restart on these fresh tires. But also, could see what happens here. These guys have some very old tires on them. Over 30 laps on these tires. We'll have to see how they restart. Not spinning them here. We're getting ready to go green flag here.
All right, that pace car dives off. It's going to be the 31 of Brock Whitehead bringing us to the green. He's got the 36 of Rocket Speeds on his inside. Both drivers getting a terrific jump, and we saw just how lethal of a restarter the 36 Kyle Speeds was last time, and it looks like he's going to do it again.
Man, look at the run as these cars come flying through turns 1 and 2. Brock Whitehead to the outside of Kyle Speeds. He's looking like he wants to win 2 stages today and get maximum points before possibly winning this one. You see Christopher Tate, new driver here in the league. He's on the outside. Robert Lawrence there on the inside. They're 3 wide behind him as the 33 Trey Whitehead gets loose in 3 and 4.
And you're seeing these aged tires start to play a factor as now, you know, you're on tires that are 30, 40 laps old, but you're in full sprint at this point. And you're seeing, look at that, the 54 of Christopher Tate just drifting right up to the wall, keeping it off of it, though, as the 31 of Brock Whitehead.
Oh, man,
Wow.
They're close there. What a run there for Tate off of turn 2. Whitehead's going to put the block. Oh, there's contact. They're in the wall. Can they keep it going? Wes Fuller's in the wall. Heavy contact even there for the 54. There's 4 wide. I don't know how they made it through there. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and that's a lot of spots lost, but you know what, Angel? That could have been a lot worse than it was.
That could have been a massive wreck that took out more than 3/4 of the field, I'd say. Everybody was right on top of each other. What fantastic awareness and driving there. They were in the wall hard, and they stayed right up against it. But right now, the battle for the lead is hot. It's Kyle Rocket Speeds and then against Brock Whitehead. Who's going to get it? Can Alfred Denny or Robert Lawrence? Seems that they can't get off of each other's bumpers. They're still battling for position.
Yeah, and as we come to about the one to go, it looks like Alfred Denny and Robert Lawrence, they're going to get maybe a good run at the 31 of Brock Whitehead, 36 Kyle Spees. Don't know if they'll catch him or not, but both of them now sitting comfortable in the top 5, after that checkup earlier with the 21 of Jeffrey Vickery joining them.
Here they are coming across down here to turn 3. Kyle Spees with a massive drive down into turn 3. It's not going to be enough. Kyle Spees is not going to be able to pass Brock Whitehead, I don't think, coming to the start-finish line. He puts up a good run. Brock Whitehead's going to win stage number 2.
Oh, man, and Alfred Denny almost stole second from Kyle Spees there. Kyle Spees able to fortunately hang on, but Brock Whitehead going to claim back-to-back stages.
We're still green at the moment, actually. Not sure if we're waiting for the field to cross the line or we are off on what we're thinking. Let's see if... Hey, Greg, we're pulling you in here. Was that not the stage end?
It is right now.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, at the end of lap 80. Sorry about that, everybody. We got that confused. Everybody does it differently. And
I was in the middle of kind of muting some chats. That's why I was a little bit later.
Got it. Not a problem, Greg. Thank you. Just double checking that. I know we're a little bit crazy, but we don't want to be crazy for that reason.
It's usually once 10th place passes the start finish line at going to lap 80. So once they cross the line and it says lap 80, then that's when I should do it.
10-4 sounds good. Greg, how about those guys not destroying 3/4 of the field right there? What fantastic awareness for everybody.
That was great. I mean, honestly, I'm so pleased at how this league just turned it around this week. It's been the most green flag laps we ran.
And it's one of the best tracks to do it at Kansas, man. It's. I feel like at this point we just need to make it a weekly race at Kansas and crown a track champion.
Yep.
Oh man.
Well, I think Brock Whitehead would agree with you, Angel.
I think so as well. Greg, you got any insight for us here before we finish off the second half of this race?
I mean, if drivers would just be okay with lifting coming out of 4, we probably wouldn't have had any cautions so far. It's everybody just, they don't want to lift coming out of 4, and they tag the wall, and then of course it shoots you across the track, and that's just how it is. I mean, you gotta be okay with lifting and living to race another lap.
There we go. The wise words of our race control, Greg Wood. Greg, thank you for jumping in with us. And are they? Oh, they take out another cone back there.
Yeah, there goes the yellow cone at the start of pit road. That one's a little bit more concerning though, because that makes you wonder if someone's going to get nicked with a penalty for unsafe pit entrance.
That could very well be true. We'll have to see what happens as you see Trey Whitehead. Can Trey Whitehead get any spots here? He's got that first starting position or that first pit box, that bright pink one. I love the pink and black mixture with this. I feel like this is very underrated. We're just not paying attention to Trey Whitehead here in that 33.
I agree, and one thing that makes Kansas tricky is you saw how far back that first pit stall is from the exit of pit road. But I can tell you, Angel, as a driver, one of the most frustrating things is trying to figure out how to exit pit road, because you want to get out of the box fast, but you don't want to just mash the gas and spin the tires and not go anywhere.
Oh, James has joined us here in our Facebook chat. James, thank you for always. He says, I don't know anything, as if I haven't thrown away many races in which he has broadcasted at Kansas. And he said their tires are as old as me. Yeah, probably just about. But they need a couple more years before they get to that point, James.
Oh, that's cold.
I
like these tires are about to see them race on.
Chris Wheeler, he's one of those drivers that stayed out in that beautiful 6 Ford Mustang right there. That number 4 car is going to stay out as well. David Modestball up 19 spots. TJ Roberts is up 30. He's decided to stay out here, and everybody else has come down pit lane. So kind of surprising. We had more drivers come down pit lane under that last caution, but most of them kind of came back maybe just to top off. Not sure.
Yeah, and that's not a bad strategy. Now that you got, you take the tires last caution, you only run about 4 or 5 laps on them, and then you come back in to top off. That puts you on the same fuel cycle as most of the field, and the people who were the leaders at the end of stage 2. It's not a bad strategy because you probably got off pit road before them as well.
Yeah, I mean, and it's gonna be just What can it's 10 laps. I mean, I don't know how hard they're pushing it, but those 10 laps will make a difference when it comes to the speed in these tires. So we'll see Brock Whitehead. He'll be restarting in 5th. Maybe Kyle Speedson restarting on the outside. Maybe he can get ahead of Brock Whitehead here as they manage through some of these guys in front of them with older tires.
You know, another paint scheme I'm looking at right now, Angel, is that 11 of TJ Roberts. That is a beautiful looking scheme.
Let's see if we can't find a closer view here. Good, I love the simplicity of it and the gradient of the colors on it. We don't see too much gradients to really work out as well as it is here for that number 11.
You know, that's not the sponsor, but that looks very Kiss-like, you know, the gradients on the number.
Let's see if we can't see Jocko Go. We'll have to bring him in at one point and see exactly what that is. But great view. I love the matte finish on that. How about that? That's what looks really nice.
Yeah, there's something very special about black matte cars. I don't know what it is, but I love it.
I have a preference for black matte cars, man. They're my favorite. Gloss can be nice and pretty at night, but I just love the way the sun shines on this matte.
I agree 100%.
All right, lights are off on the pace car. We're going to have 65 laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 65 laps to go. My math is still correct today.
Hey, it's all right. Math is not, I don't think, either of our strong suits. So
well, okay, no,
right.
Here's the problem. Math is, in fact, my strong suit. I just don't know what happened. Not even going to lie to everybody. Anybody watching kind of that knows me would know that.
All right, well, that pace car takes that big dive, and it's going to be a new leader this time. The 6 of Chris Wheeler choosing the inside. We are not going green. Just kidding.
They might not have been lined up behind, which is tends to be a bit of an issue when you have 31 cars on the lead lap, another 5 out there, and some people pitting and not pitting. So that's more of one of those iRacing glitches that there's like, let's go ahead and take a break for a moment, make sure everything's correct, nobody gets screwed.
What a tease. I was all ready to go.
Thank Greg for that. I'm pretty sure he's the guy that threw the caution.
Thanks, Greg. Nothing more frustrating than being that lead driver and having to patiently wait for the pace car to get back out in front of you, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's, you're just sitting there like, oh, I'm ready to go, ready to go. Oh, nope, never mind.
All right, well, we're doubled up, ready to go. We'll try it again this time. Pace car came back out just to pull back in this time around. And we're going to be we're going to be going green this time. I almost just said 2 to green, and that would have been a lie.
2 to green would have been the last time that we thought we were going green. Pace car getting, got to put him to work a little bit. He's been resting a little bit too much compared to the last couple weeks.
Yeah, so that pace car takes that big dive. Let's try this again. The 6 of Chris Wheeler, a new leader. From the inside, he's going to bring us to the green. The 4 of Daniel Miglin finding himself back out front. He's going to get a good run on the outside, but that 6 of Wheeler and the 4 of Miglin, they're going to get a great run. And wow, the 6 of Chris Wheeler going to shoot right up in front of the 4 of Miglin, and he's going to lead going down into turn 1.
No breaks given right there between the 6 and the 4. I think the 4, if he had a little bit more of a run, he would have given the 6 a pretty good shove there in the turn 1. Not quite. Now it's going to be the 6 under attack from the 11. TJ Roberts flying through. He's going to take the lead here in 3 and 4. Wow, he kind of came out of nowhere there.
Yeah, and you see the 4 of Daniel Miglin still kind of lurking on that inside. Now he's got the 31 of Brock Whitehead right behind him. But that 11 of TJ Roberts, he's out to a great lead at this point.
Yeah, but look at this. To the outside, here comes Daniel Miglin on the bottom. Can he hold it? And here comes Brock Whitehead on the inside of that number 6 car. He's going to clear for 3rd. Cosby's in tow behind him along with Trey Whitehead. But the battle's for the lead right now. Here comes Brock Whitehead. He was ready to make it 3 wide.
All these drivers are just threading the needle right now, looking for any opening they can. Aggressive enough, but still passive, knowing it's a long race. They are not giving an inch, though.
Speeds is thinking about it. Speeds thought about it. He's going to peak high, but no, he's going to peak now to the middle. Now he's going to back out, but he's going to have a pretty good run here on the outside of Brock Whitehead. His biggest competition going into tonight's race as they battle side by side. However, it is for the 3rd position. TJ Roberts and Daniel Miglin holding on and still battling for first with those older tires.
And Daniel Miglin's still looking to the inside. Not Trey Whitehead, excuse me. Kyle Speed is going to follow him. Brock Whitehead and Trey Whitehead, there we go. Looking still behind them. They're lined up on the outside. They keep running that high line. We'll see what kind of run they get, especially if the 4 of Miglin and 36 of Rocket Speeds stay side by side for a couple laps.
Now, this is lap number 90. My favorite number. It's my race car number. I think it's time to give these fans a crank it up session. Where this time hopefully we don't have technical issues after it. So well, Scott, we're back. It seems like every time we want to give these folks a turn it up session, man, something happens.
Yeah, we'll have to try it again, once we get past this caution and back to green, because this is a great track to get a turn it up in, but not in our favor at this moment.
See as they dive down here into turn number 1. Oh, I see the problem. I see a car sideways right there. See what all happened with that. We're going to go ahead and jump to our different camera view here. You see, we're 3 wide on the bottom. The 85's coming up. The 49 is there. Oh, that's a tough one. Zach Woods, the unfortunate guy, stuck in the middle of it. Scott, I feel like that's just one of those things where the 85 was trying to come up. Came up kind of high, but at the same time, maybe a little more room could have been given. It's one of those... I don't know where I would put fault in that one.
Yeah, you know as well as I do, Angel, that, when you're going through the tri-oval, especially when you're taking those big arcs like that, you don't really know where the guy next to you is. You kind of just assume and hope you're right. And that just looked like a 2 guys in the same real estate, not knowing where the other one was. Not really anyone's fault, just, not having the visibility to see what's going on around you at that point.
Yeah, I mean, and we talked about earlier, it just seems to be just nowhere to go, even with as many racing options, racing groove options as you have here, just nowhere to go. And yeah, everybody's just trying to go for that same real estate. We will see what our RC. Oh, good. What a little tongue twister there. Greg Wood says the final decision is on that one. I can see it going any one of 3 ways: a penalty for the 85, a penalty for the 49, or a racing incident.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are the 3 ways to call it. And I think I would be okay with any of those 3. I think ultimately it's going to come down to what Greg decides. But Greg's been, pretty hands off this race. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him call this one the way of just another racing incident.
I think we shall see here what happens as we have now completed 94 laps. Let me go ahead and pull up the other graphic with our tower for just a moment. See what caution is this. Give it just a moment. This is our 8th caution of the day here in the Ghost Cup Series presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing. Open back our trusty ticker across the top. Still keeping it old school NASCAR style. As Kyle Spees is your leader, let's go ahead and give you a brief rundown through the field while they get through here. I don't think we'll have too many of these front drivers hitting pit lane. So Kyle Rocket Spees currently in the first position, always welcoming his grandmother Sue, watching on our YouTube chat with us. Brock Whitehead, man, who's really been the kind of just one of the fastest guys out there, winning both of the first stages in second. Brother Trey Whitehead in third, kind of been the quiet brother today. TJ Roberts, you've seen his speed up 30 spots so far in tonight's race, up to fourth. Daniel Miglin in fifth. Jeffrey Vickery's in sixth. Alfred Denny in seventh. Chris Wheeler's in eighth. Christian Roos in ninth. And David Motorsport rounds out your top 10.
John Curtis coming in the 17 and 11th. Behind him, the 5 of the boss man, Chris Hubka. The 99 of Wally Babb. Then we have the 34 of Robert Lawrence in that beautiful Ford Mustang. The 96 of DJ Daniel, a Daytona winner. We'll always want to say hi, Dad. Behind him, the 22 of Noah Owens from Stanford, Kentucky, the owner and driver for Blue Motorsports.
Yeah, filling in tonight for Mike Sabanovsky.
And then, is this Dad?
This is Dad, yes. Charles Whitehead.
Dad. The 28 of Charles Whitehead, father to Brock and Trey. He has to be proud watching his boys run up in the front tonight.
He does, but his boys are ready to go green flag racing here. Let's not go ahead and miss this start. I do believe, yep, pace lights are off. We're doubled up. We always have to check for the pace lights because these drivers are eager drivers. They're ready to be double file as soon as the caution comes out to go back green flag racing. We're going to go now. We're going to have 54 laps to go here after this cross of the line. We're green flag racing here for the Ghost 200 at Kansas Speedway. Kyle Spees is your leader, but the Whiteheads, with Brock Whitehead on that bottom lane with a big push. Can he cross over and take the lead?
And you see the 31 of Brock Whitehead really going to have that great jump on the inside. He's going to pull up in front of the 36 of Spees. Almost looking like his brother Trey going to get a good run there. Look, they kind of have the 36 of Speeds boxed in at this point. Brock Whitehead, your new leader, at least for the moment.
And, looks like we have another caution here. Something happened here. It looks like a 55 of Nicholas Panico possibly. Let's go ahead and jump on and see exactly what just happened. Or is he just an unfortunate bystander? Another one. As he dives down here. Oh, the 85 gets into the wall there, going into the turn. Man, Panico, just unfortunate situation for him again there. I don't think we ever got the official okay from Greg either. So what happened to that previous caution?
No, we did not.
He's a busy man right now.
He is a busy man. It sounds like he's got a lot going on, and these cautions are piling up. And that is all right. Angel, since we got nothing really going on at this moment, waiting to see kind of how these pit stops in this caution play out. Quick little story for you because it just happened. My router sits right next to my computer, right? And I have this wonderful cat. His name is Oreo. He's 21 years old this week.
Oh my goodness, 21 years old.
Yes, he is a grandpa, but man, he is my childhood cat. I love him to death. He likes to sit on top of the router because the router gets warm, obviously, and I'm sure it feels good.
I'm sure
on his paws and whatnot. I always get nervous though because one time I went to hop on my computer and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't connect to the internet. And I couldn't figure it out. Looking at the router, all the lights are on. The button for the Wi-Fi, not for the router itself, but for the Wi-Fi, is on the top of the router, and he stepped on it and pressed it. So now every time I see him sit on it, I get nervous that I'm going to end up going into a blackout because he's going to push that button. So if I disconnect, stand by.
Okay, sounds good. It'll be another cat issue. I always joke with cats, so.
I feel like every week is a cat issue, man. My cats have not treated me well in my iRacing leagues the last few weeks. They're out to get me, I'm telling you.
Well, I think that's what cats are for. They're supposed to be little buttholes, as we'd say. Try to be a little nice for those watching.
Yeah. Now the other cat jumped up. He's standing behind the monitor, so I'm terrified to see what he's up to.
All right, looks like we probably should have maybe 49 laps to go to finish this one. It'll be interesting to see what these drivers can do over the last 49 laps. I don't know if these guys can make it. I feel like maybe they're not quite in that pit window just yet with 50 laps to go.
Yeah, that might be pushing it a little much. But at this point in time, you're going to start to see, I wonder, Angel, what drivers may try to short pit this and which ones are going to try to run it to the end, especially with the amount of cautions we've had. It's going to be interesting to see where you can make up that track position, especially if you're someone like, let's say, Robert Lawrence or Christopher Tate, who are further back in the field that were running up front earlier in the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be all about trying to figure out where you're gonna make the run. I mean, there's so many different options. I think I would try to stick it out. I wouldn't short pit. We've had a couple of cautions here and there out of random. You don't want to get stuck 2 laps down.
Yeah, that I can agree with. I would refrain from the short pit, and at this point, especially knowing what we know about these cautions, I would just try to bleed it dry, in my opinion.
Exactly what I would have to do here. Should be getting ready to go green flag racing here in just a brief moment. I do believe these cars might be lining up. Yeah, looks like these cars are starting to line up side by side. Yep, pace lights are off. We're getting ready to go green flag racing with 49 laps to go.
Oh, man, and there's just something, Angel, let me tell you. Every time we talk about going green flag racing, whether it's, the drop of the green flag at the beginning of the race or the 10th caution of the race, I get this, chill down my back thinking about going green flag racing and seeing that flag fly and hearing those cars just pedal to the floor.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for it. Absolutely.
One of those little luxuries about racing that you tend to take for granted, and then when you stop and think about it, how beautiful it actually is.
Yeah, that's the best part of it. That's really what we get to enjoy the most. So we see the brothers now lined up side by side. I don't know if we're gonna have too much of nice play right now. We're kind of getting to the end of this one, and Trey Whitehead is if he's got an opportunity, he's got to pass Brock. Brock has just been bad fast all day long.
Yeah, at this point in time, I think it's safe to say Brock Whitehead has proven he's the guy to beat. He's run the most consistent. He's run fast, and Trey's gonna have to have something up his sleeve in order to beat Brock if this in these long and short runs. That pace car is off. Brock Whitehead's going to lead us to the green on that outside lane. He is going to get a terrific jump, but so does Trey. They are literally side by side. It looked like Trey almost beat him to the line, and Trey is certainly going to beat him down into turn 1. Kyle Rocket Speed's right behind Trey, both looking to clear Brock as they come out of turn 2.
Man, oh man, look at the battle we're having here. Trey Whitehead is going to clear for first. Now it's a battle for second between Spees and Brockhead. Brock Whitehead, I'm sorry. I can't believe if I'm screwing up your name again. I'm sorry, buddy. Now trying to carry that speed on the outside in that number 31 Chevrolet Camaro as Kyle Spees looks like he can clear. Oh, no, he's not. Brock's got a good run off of 4.
Oh, and Kyle almost cleared, and Brock just, shut the door on him and is able to hold. He's going to follow Trey in that outside lane, but Kyle Spees still there on the inside getting terrific runs. It's only a matter of time until he gets his way, and he's going to stay side by side with the 33 of Trey Whitehead, and he's going to try to push the issue. He wants the lead, not second.
Man, Trey's going to dive in lower than he has, try to suck out some of that air from the right side of that 36, really make it difficult for him to rotate the center of the corner in 3 and 4, and you're going to see Trey's got a pretty good run down the front stretch, but still not clear. Kyle Rocket Speeds, he is holding on hard. How hard are they using the tires? 36 clips the apron just so slightly. Great driving for the two of them. They'll stay off of each other.
On the 33 of Trey Whitehead, just doing a terrific job managing that outside, getting runs coming off the corners, beating Kyle Speeds to the line, beating him down the backstretch, but Speeds just refusing to give in on that inside.
And look at the view here as they come across the start-finish line. That time around, I think Kyle Speeds led this lap. Wow! These guys are right on top of each other.
Rocket Speed's back out in front, and Trey Whitehead, look at that, trying to suck that air right off of Kyle Speeds, saying, absolutely not, I want it back, and the 31 of Brock Whitehead still just lingering right behind them.
Oh my goodness, look at the ability the 33 had there to get on his right rear quarter panel and slow him down as a caution comes out now. No, Charles Whitehead, the father of these two of these first 3 drivers, he's going to be involved in an incident. We'll have to jump back here and see exactly what happened. Oh, looks like the 28's going to clip the apron a little bit. Tries to slide in front of the 54. I don't know if he just hit the wall and it shot him back down the track. You see that often in iRacing where you clip the wall and it just shoots you down the track. And the 22 of Noah Owens, the unfortunate man, just kind of the innocent bystander there.
Yeah, and it's looking like Trey Whitehead is actually going to get the luxury of being scored in front.
Wow, that's close.
When they passed the last scoring loop, he must have just nudged by the 36 of Rocket Speeds. That is going to change the trajectory of this as he gets to choose his lane with his brother Brock sitting in third place.
Scott Nate's joining us here in the in our chat here on Facebook, running on Alfred, who is running in 6th right now, having himself a pretty solid run, consistently just outside this top 5 and in the top 10 most of this race. And Mr. Modified himself, not a modified, brand new paint scheme tonight. Beautiful looking paint scheme over by Dan over at Depp Paints. Check them out on Facebook. Great job that they do on these paints, as you can
Darn it,
clearly see.
Angel. We've gone all night without mentioning Mr. Modified, and he's run what has looked at least like a very clean race. And now I think we just threw the jinx on him once again.
Oh well, we had to have some excitement at one point. He'll send us a message here in just a few minutes, not being happy with us, but it's okay. David Modespal actually decided to stay out here with currently is 44 laps to go. Christopher Tate in 2nd as well. Vernon Reese haven't had much of an opportunity to speak about him. We've seen speed out of him this year. Kind of just mired back in the pack and involved in a couple of the wrecks. He's going to stay out, put himself here into the 3rd position. Chris Wheeler as well. The other boss man here on the Esports Broadcasting Network, Cliff Corvu, currently in 5th. And that'll round out the top 5 drivers who decided not to come down pit lane. But just looking at it now, David Modespal last pitted on lap 72. These other 4 drivers came in on that last restart on lap 99. So they've got pretty fresh tires still. Not really too bad of a disadvantage, I'd say.
Yeah, it depending on when you pit it, and actually here comes the one of David Modespal, your leader, so that is going to turn the lead over to the 54 of Christopher Tate.
Interesting there. Look at that. Christopher Tate making his way back up to the front.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting fight. As you see Vernon Reese in the double of Chris Wheeler in the 6th, the 84 of Cliff Corvu, and then behind him, the leaders who pitted the 33 of Trey Whitehead, 36 Kyle Spees, 31 Brock Whitehead, so on. This is going to be interesting to see how these drivers who stayed out, these 4, Tate, Reese, Wheeler, and Corvu, what kind of fight they can put up, and maybe if a caution or some kind of luck will play into their favor to kind of bail them out from taking this track position and put them in a good position as we close out this race.
Yeah, I mean, because you could, maybe run 10, 15 laps here. Some people might still have an extra set of tires. That's another question, each driver got 4 extra sets, and more than half the field has pit at least 4 times. Some of them could have been just for fuel only, so we're not sure exactly what that decision is for some of these drivers. So some people might not even have a set of tires left over the last 42 laps of the race. I think that we'll see as this we should be going green here on this next time or after this time around.
So Angel, at this point in time, we're going to go green with just about 40 laps to go. If you've already pitted, if you're someone like Trey Whitehead or Kyle Spees or Brock Whitehead, what is your strategy? Are you going back to kind of what you did in stage 1 and stage 2? Are you thinking about the fact of maybe I have an extra set of tires and if there's another caution I can come in and put another set on? Or are you thinking that I just got to make this last and whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, that's just how it's been the all race. Just kind of deciding, how do you want to manage your tires here. But again, just long green flag run here, looking like it's gonna be 41 laps as we are now just one more lap to go before we go green flag racing once again. So it's gonna be 40 laps is a full run that we've seen so far. It's gonna be tough to not try to be fast, early on. You really want to save your tires. If you're some of these guys, maybe like Trey Whitehead, Brock Whitehead, try to get around some of these guys in front of you with older tires. Maybe put them in between you and some of your competitors. Allow you to save your tires while they struggle to pass them, possibly.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what this replay ends up looking, restart, not replay, ends up looking like, as that pace car takes to dive off. The 54 of Christopher Tate, the 00 of Vernon Reese leading us to the green. Green flag is out. Looks like they're going to get good restarts. Always concerned about spinning the tires, especially when you're restarting multiple times. That 54 of Christopher Tate's going to get a terrific run. The 6 of Chris Wheeler behind it, and look at that, Trey Whitehead already peeking the outside. Looks like Vernon Reese did not get going there, as Trey Whitehead and Brock Whitehead already on the outside of second place, and they already have the 54 of Christopher Tate in their sights as they get ready to head into turn 3.
Man, they're going to make this look easy almost. They're going to come flying through here. 33 is going to push hard, but, the 54 can really force these guys to use their tires up. 33 slides. He's in the wall there off of turn 4. Almost gets into his brother. What a save there for Trey Whitehead and everybody around him as the 4 goes around. There were 4 wide down the front stretch.
Yeah, and that's a huge saving grace for Christopher Tate that gives him enough of an advantage to be able to hold off that oncoming pack a little bit longer. Maybe see if some race strategy can play into his favor now that he's got some breathing room.
Man, what a wild moment we had there between some of these drivers. You see now Brock Whitehead battling there with the 4. The 6 of Chris Wheeler may have been older tires, but he's trying to be aggressive. Here comes the 33 trying to make up some of those spots.
And the 31 of Brock Whitehead back in second place. He still has Daniel Miglin on his inside, but man, Brock Whitehead has been just a powerhouse all race today, and he is really giving that fight to the 4 of Miglin on his inside.
Yeah, but I think right now the 4 is going to have to just concede that second place. Christopher Tate wasn't able to pull away too much. It looks like Trey Whitehead almost got into the wall there into turn 3. Coming off turn 4, side by side as they come down the front stretch. Tate still got the lead, but it's a big battle behind him. A ton of cars all within a second of each other. You got your top 12 cars within a second of each other.
Yeah, you can throw the 36 of Kyle Spees past the 33 of Trey Whitehead. When Whitehead got loose, the 36 clears. And you could throw a very small blanket that 2 high schoolers may prefer under that, top 5, top 10 group of cars. Man, they are so close together.
Oh, man, that was a good one, Scott. You see the 86 kind of stuck in the middle, nowhere to go. Alfred Denny pulling in from the inside. Dylan McDonald on the outside. Jeffrey Vickery. All these guys trying to make up some spots. Robert Lawrence making his way back up to the front. Haven't had an opportunity to talk about him the last couple laps, but the battle continues for the lead. Christopher Tate cycled out of the lead, but it is the 4 and it is the 31 of Brock Whitehead side by side with Kyle Rocket Speeds coming in here in third.
And we have seen some terrific side-by-side battles go for multiple laps before someone either has to concede or slips up and finally gets the run they need. So don't be surprised if the 31 of Brock Whitehead and the 4 of Daniel Miglin continue to let this one slug out. But like you mentioned, that 36 of Kyle Spees and the 54 of Christopher Tate holding in strong, waiting for that chance for them to get back up to the front.
Man, oh man, these guys are slipping and sliding everywhere. I love this track for this reason. You see the 6 into the wall off of turn 2. It's going to really hurt Trey Whitehead, who's stuck behind him. Robert Lawrence is going to clear the 6. Alfred Denny looking to do the same. Trey Whitehead just needs to get a good run to get around that guy with a little bit older tires. It's older tires to where he's faster, but just new enough that it's not like he can just blow past him. He's really got to work for it still.
Yeah, and you're seeing the 33 of Trey Whitehead. He faded back a little bit after getting loose in the corner, and now he's paying the price for it. Stuck behind some of that slower traffic. Just boxed up on the outside of the track, nowhere to go.
Yeah, you see Dylan McDonald's going to hold him up there. Dylan knows, Robert Lawrence, just a kiss on that wall on 3 and 4. He's going to lose some time. They're going to be 3 wide coming off the turn 4. Quite possibly 4 wide as we cross the finish line. My goodness, look at this.
Man, and the 4 of Daniel Miglin back to the lead at this point.
McQuaid backs out of that. He said, no, I'm good. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you're still about 33 laps to go at this point. Still no reason to really push the issue, especially with how well these drivers are running in the top 10 right now.
My goodness, 4 wide down the front stretch. You see Alex Coffey here with a fresh race car. He is not on the lead lap, currently running in the 35th position. Has just not had a good start to his career here in the Ghost Cup Series. Back-to-back races. Oh, he touches the wall there, going into 1 as well. Jump back to your leader right now. It is the 4, Daniel Miglin, holding on over Brock Whitehead. Can Brock get to the outside? We've seen Brock do such a good job of saving those tires. I'm not too worried quite yet about Brock. Question is that 4 aware of the tire saving abilities of the 31? And is he doing the same? Hopefully, so he can have a good battle with him at the end of this one. Kyle Speeds just wants to lead right now.
Yeah, and Daniel Miglin has been trapped on that inside for so long, battling Brock Whitehead. If I'm the 4, I'm concerned about those 3 guys all pressed up on him. The 31 of Brock Whitehead, the 36 of Rocket Speeds, and the 2 of Alfred Denny. All 3 have shown today that they can save their tires, and if this goes green, those 3 may be primed to take home your podium.
Man, what a battle we're going to have here. Coming across the line, that is completing lap 119. We still got 31 laps to go here. They're going to be going by in a flash. In that flash, let's give these fans one more turn it up session. Scott, I think we might be fired if we try doing another turn it up session.
You know what? I feel like we gotta try. I feel like 3 times the charm, though, Angel.
Oh my goodness! All right, well let's see exactly what all happened here on this one. Looks like the 00 Vernon Reese, one of those drivers who stayed out on that last caution, battling here with the 25 or 42, whichever one you're seeing here. I need to see a different view of this one. I think the chopper cam would be perfect for this. And you know, he has some net code too.
Yeah, that looked like a lot of net code at first. From the other angle, it looked like the 25/42, call it what you will, just kind of went up and just turned the 00. But looking at it from that angle, Angel, I think you got it right. That looks like it's just net code.
Let's go jump on board here with the 17, I think, of John Curtis. I think this is the guy who had an interesting view of this right in front of him. Let's see here. He sees him go low. Oh, oh my goodness. He almost clobbered him. Wow. That was pretty close there for the 17. As we're going to have a couple of drivers make their way down pit lane here. Christopher Tate being one of them now with about 15 lap pressure tires. This may really work out for Tate, for Wheeler, Robert Lawrence, Jonathan Leach, if he got himself a fresh set of Goodyears. There we go. Look at that. He's got the Boss Man letters on the spoiler. I love it, man. I love it.
Oh, and seeing some of these guys, this is going to be interesting, Angel, especially if we get a green flag run. We're going to go green with about 26 or 27 laps to go. These guys that just pitted the 86-6, they're all on fresh tires right now. Could they maybe storm through the field? You mentioned earlier the difference in lap times can be as much as 2 seconds.
All right, I'll get in trouble later on for looking on view with their look on from your leader, the number 4 Chevy Camaro of Dan Miglin here. Let's actually jump on board and see just what is his fire suit looking like for today. Oh, wrong one. Hold on, everybody. There we go. Oh, we got a Buzz Lightyear one.
What is with the helmet, though?
I don't know what the helmet is. No, I don't know. But we'll enjoy the fire suit. We got ourselves a nice looking Buzz Lightyear one. All right, well, looks like we're probably gonna have about 24, maybe 25 laps left in this one. You know, I say we're gonna have to bring in Alfred Denny in 3rd position and see what is his thoughts here running in 3rd. How about you bring him on in here?
Oh, my pleasure. I don't think we've gotten to harass Al yet this year.
No, we've been trying to patient. You know, he's our friend, not trying to show any favoritism. We've been patient. It's round number 7. I think we can finally do it.
Alfred Denny, it is Scott and Angel up in the ESBN booth. You got a copy.
I got you.
Oh, man, you just brought out the immediate Clint Boyer in me. Man, you're running up front. How you feeling?
Well, I was feeling good, but now knowing the broadcaster's curse, I'm probably screwed.
Oh, no. We already talked about Mr. Modified and how he's run a pretty clean race, so you might be good.
Yeah, I said he needs to get the modified going and he'd get up here, but sounds like he used a fast repair and he's finally in a good spot now. So
Well, Al, you find yourself in third place at the moment. You're going to go green with about 25 to go. What's your strategy going forward? Are you going to try to run this one out, or are you going to kind of just play the cat and mouse game and see what happens?
trying to see what happens. It's hard to pass when we get single file. You really need to get good runs to make anything happen with the way the draft is working here. So I'm going to kind of just save a little gas, save some tires, see what happens. If the 31 and 4 get together, hopefully avoid it, and then hopefully be in the right spot at the end of the race.
Perfect. Well, I'll stop wasting your time. We'll get you back to your team chat as you're coming on the backstretch. Good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we get to give you a nice interview at the end of the race.
Thank you. There we go.
Before you do that, Al, Nate is rooting for you in the Facebook chat, just so you know.
Good to hear.
All right, now we can kick him out of here. No, we don't need him.
All right, yeah, we don't need him in here longer than he needs to be. Man, they're not going to let us down on this broadcaster's curse, are they?
No, they're not. I think Mr. Modify is going to specifically be that way. But we talk about everybody else, and it doesn't count. I think they're just being big babies, which is okay. You can let them.
That's true. Well, that pace car's off. The 4 of Daniel Miglin on that outside in the restart zone. Oh, no. Looked like he spun the tires almost. The 31 of Brock Whitehead just getting a terrific jump. Is there a chance, Angel, I don't want to be that guy, but is there a chance the 31 of Brock may have jumped that start? Because it looked like the 4 just didn't go.
It could have been the 4 didn't go. I saw the 2 all over the back bumper of the 31, so it could have been also a mix of Alfred giving him a good push. I don't know if that's going to count against him. I don't think so. I think he'll be just fine. But here comes Rocket Speeds looking to take him 3 wide on the outside. Decides not to. It's going to be a two-way battle for the lead. We've got 25 laps to go here in the Ghost 200. Round number 7 at Kansas, presented by the Fort Worth Screen Printing Company.
Oh, and that top 5, top 6, Angel, is just literally kissing each other bumper to bumper. You could not get these cars any closer without literally bump drafting down this backstretch.
What does old DW say? You couldn't fit a piece of paper between those two cars right there. Here comes Al looking to the bottom of Dylan McDonald. Al just kind of stuck in the bottom here. He's going to try to need to find his way to the outside. Really the preferred lane at the moment, but just getting freight trained along with Kyle Rocket Speeds. Miglin holding on to first. Can he hold on over Brock Whitehead, who's been so dominant today? Oh, we've got ourselves a caution with 24 to go.
Please be Mr. Modified. Please be Mr. Modified.
I don't think so. This might be. We've got ourselves quite the incident already. No, this is the 11 of TJ Roberts, along with the 18 of. We got Robert Lawrence and TJ Roberts kind of right on top of each other here. Let's see what kind of angle we can get from them. Let's jump onto our chopper view. Oh, I think Robert Lawrence maybe just came down, didn't know TJ was there, and man, that just sent him flying down there. That's minimal contact to send him flying so hard. That's kind of odd.
Yeah, and that's one of those unfortunate things, Angel, just from the look of it. As much as we love taking this seriously and the passion behind it, we do have to remember it is a simulation, so sometimes those weird things do just happen.
Yeah, that is the bummer for it. I think TJ Roberts would disagree and say it was an error here. We haven't heard from Greg Wood on these cautions. We'll have to bring him in here. Greg, you've been kind of quiet on us in these last couple cautions. We got to know who this one was on.
Well, I was waiting for you guys to pull me in. You
didn't. I thought you've just been jumping in here and there on your own. Sorry about that. That was miscommunication then. Sorry.
This one I'm still reviewing. I'm going to call it a racing thing. The 34 said he was trying to give the 22 room off the turn and didn't want to pinch him in the wall. And the 11 just happened to be there. So I think we're going to chalk this up to a racing deal.
All right. Well, we see a bunch of drivers coming down pit lane right now. Greg, 20 laps to go. These guys have been keeping it fairly clean. We're 4 wide on multiple occasions. What are the possibilities we're going to have ourselves one of those real close side-by-side finishes for the win?
I'd say probably about 75% chance it's going to happen.
Those are pretty good chances for me. I don't know about you, Scott, but I like those chances. We're going to let Greg be the RC and hopefully call that one into existence. Greg, we appreciate it, and hopefully we don't have to talk to you anymore after this one.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Angel, I think we may have just bought ourselves something here.
Okay.
It looks like the broadcaster's curse may be in reverse. Your new leader to bring us to the green is going to be Mr. Modified himself, Kevin Gibney Jr.
And his driving a Ford Mustang for today's race. Decided he wanted to match his teammate Al, and make me a little bit happy here in the booth. That's a lie. He's not doing it for me at all. But good looking paint scheme right here, and then right behind him, he's gonna have that 4 of Christopher Tate. So Christopher making his way up there, but Mr. Gibney, I don't know if he's just used up all his tires. He's on much older tires, so really from here he's just gonna have to manage and hope not to get run over by some of these guys with much fresher tires.
Yeah, and one thing that's worth noting is everyone who pitted right there, Angel, fell out of the top 10. You had quite a few cars stay out. The first car to come in there and come off pit road was Alfred Denny. He's currently being scored in the 12th position. So you had 11 cars stay out there. That means for those leaders from the last time when the caution came out, they may have fresh tires, but there are a lot of cars they're going to have to fight through to get back up to the front.
Now I'm looking here. It looks like Al was only in pit lane for 9, and his pit stop for 9.5 seconds. So did he take right sides only? I wonder. Will that be the decision here? It does put him in front of some of these other drivers and actually going to be on the outside, where it's a little bit easier to make passes on some of these slower cars, or slower cars in the sense of just having older tires. I don't care how fast you are. Old tires are old tires. You're not going to do anything with them.
I will say, Angel, 2 things that I like about this field where those former leaders are at, and I want to target Alfred Denny specifically in this. We had mentioned earlier that the tire fall off can be roughly 2 seconds here. Now, if you figure 12th place to first, once you get spread out from a restart, you can easily compensate that with about 18 laps to go. Second, with Alfred Denny, he is one of the only drivers I've noticed in this race that is consistently, regardless of tire wear, successfully making running the white line work.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty tough here.
Inside, he may be able to just cruise right to the front of this pack.
We'll have to see what he's able to do. You got to remember, the guys in front of him don't have much older tires. Aside from a couple, most of them maybe only have 5 or 6 green flag laps, so it's not going to be too big of a difference. You have to wonder, will it be enough with 19 to go? You see they're stacked up double file here. Will any of these drivers who came down pit lane here going to have enough time to make their way back up to the front and try to pull this one off?
Well, if there's anything that we know as racing fans, Angel, it is that anything can happen.
Anything can happen, absolutely. That's what makes this so much fun. Puts on such a fun broadcast for all the fans out there, and even the drivers, when they get a chance to go back and watch it, they have fun watching everybody slip and slide and seeing maybe what could I have done here to figure it out for next season. But right now, it's this season. 19 laps to go here for the Ghost 200. We are green flag racing once again. Kevin Gibney Jr. is your leader. He passes the Geico restart zone, and he is gone now. Christopher Tate with fresher tires. He's going to try to hold on. Pretty nice start there for Mr. Gibney, though.
Yeah, and Mr. Gibney's going to take that lead down into turn 1. He's going to have just the nose over the 54 Christopher Tate. Looks like Tate is going to beat him to the backstretch, though. And a guy who ran up front early, back out in front, the 54 Christopher Tate.
Yeah, and right now for the 54, his best friend's going to be Mr. Modified there. He's going to look almost aggressive, dodges back, but the longer that it takes some of these guys behind him to pass Mr. Modified there is... Oh, I think Al got into the wall. Al dropped significantly back there. That's not good for him.
No, but looking back at the front, you see Kevin Gibney and Chris Wheeler both all over the bumper of the 54 Christopher Tate. They're not going to let Tate run away with this one, and now Chris Wheeler taking the
they're wrecking big time off of turn 2 down the backstretch. Let's see exactly what happened here. We'll try to jump in from one of our other views. The 42, I don't know if he came down into 17. Nowhere to go. Oh, DJ Daniel heavily involved. Alfred Denny, Dylan McDonald back-to-back winner the last couple times. Wally Babb involved in this one. I think John Curtis as well. Heavy damage for some of our best contenders right there. That's going to put a big hurt for those guys.
Oh, man, and there you see Alfred Denny running around with a modified, trying to get to pit road at this point, and You know what? He brought up the broadcaster's curse, Angel. I don't know what to say about that one.
I think that we no longer have friends after this one.
Well, I was gonna say, Angel, I think we're getting to the point where people are gonna no longer want to talk to us when we pull them in.
We're gonna pull them in. They're just gonna stay quiet, and maybe can't blame them there. Wow, massive wreck taking out a lot of fast drivers right there, including Bryce Cobbler, Wally Babb, John Curtis, Alfred Denny, DJ Daniel as well involved in that one. Heavy damage for some of those drivers. Cliff Corvu, he looks like he's pretty good so far. Some of these guys maybe just coming down pit lane. Christian Roos right now with he's got a hood, but not the rest of that front end.
And it makes you wonder how this is going to change the outcome of the race. Chris Wheeler and Kevin Gibney both still sitting in second and third. The one David Modestball behind him in fourth. But you have Christopher Tate back out in front, who qualified very well, ran up front early, had some issues, fell further back in the field. And now, if you look at the drivers in the top 10, you've got Robert Lawrence. Otherwise, no one else who has really, shared part of that wealth at the beginning of the field. Besides the 31 of Brock Whitehead, who's sitting in 10th position right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to be the guy to make up some spots here. We're going to listen now, see if maybe our race control Greg Wood has had a chance to look over exactly what just happened there.
All right, I did, and we're not going to give an EOL to anybody. From my perspective, from a driver's point of view, 25 was getting awful close to the wall coming out of the turn. I guess he thought he was going to hit it. He pulled it a little far. But looking at it from several different angles, the cars never actually touch, so that's going to be a netcode deal.
Oh, there you go. We didn't get a chance to see that from our angle. So netcode, of course, playing a factor, as we've seen it a couple times tonight. Thank you very much, Greg, and we're just not going to say anything this time and not jinx anything.
10-4.
So Scott, I do have to say, netcode has been. I feel like over maybe the last couple updates has been a little bit better than what we've experienced really for the last couple of months.
Yeah, netcode has always been a consistent issue on iRacing, and you know what? That's no fault to the developers at iRacing. The simulation that they put together and the amount of time and effort and attention to detail that goes into this is legitimately next to none. That's just the consequence of playing any game online. But this is really the first race we've seen, Angel, in, I think, this whole season where we've had multiple netcode issues, and that could be for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. We really have not had that issue happen really all that much this season, kind of just a here and there type of thing. So, interesting to see what we have. I think we're going to have maybe 12, 13. I'm going to say probably maybe 13 unless it's this time around. So, anywhere from 13 to 14 laps to go before we hit that checkered flag moment. Man, this race in Kansas has been so much fun. I'm telling you, these guys are going to be 3 and 4 wide once again before the end of this race.
Yeah, I cannot wait. We're going to go green with 13 laps to go. And at this point, I think it's going to be just a complete slugfest between everyone in the top 10 and even beyond to see who can inch this one out.
Nate is just loving Greg on our broadcast as well. If for some reason we have to bring Greg back in, we'll have to tell him that Nate says hi. Appreciate everybody who is watching, of course, always interacting with us. We do our best. We love having you here. We love the opportunity to get to interact with everybody. Maybe didn't get a chance to go through everybody through the field today. We had so much action, it's kind of been hard to. We do usually try to make it a point, but of course, at least at the very end, everybody will get their mention as always. We'll be 13 laps to go. Cars are side by side. Pace lights are off. Scow. Oh my goodness, Scow. Who's Scow? Scott. I'm getting tired. It's 11 p.m.
Oh, I get that.
Oh boy. All right. Well, Scott, I will let you have this one as we're getting ready to go green flag racing.
All right. Well, as you can see, that pace car coming out of turn 4 for the time being. Pace car dives off. Christopher Tate in the 54 from the inside lane is going to bring us to the green flag. 13 laps to go at the line. The 6 of Chris Wheeler on his outside. The 63 of Kevin Gibney Jr. getting a huge jump, almost pushing that 54 across the line. And the 54 of Christopher Tate Going to have some company on his outside from the 6 of Chris Wheeler, but he is going to be your leader going down to turn 1, and it looks like he's going to clear the 6 of Chris Wheeler on the backstretch. This 54 Christopher Tate, your new leader, but the 63 Kevin Gibney coming with him. Wow, what a great run on that inside.
Yeah, and here comes the one of David Modespall in that 34, Robert Lawrence. I don't know if I saw a car sideways back there. Don't know if contact happened. We do have another caution here. I think that is Zach Woods. Unfortunate. He was running here in the top 10.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how the top 5 gets scored coming to the line.
Oh, this is going to be interesting to see. Did he have a little help there from the 22? Let's see if we can't get... As they go in, I think it's just two drivers kind of going for the same spot, the 60 and the 22. The 00, nowhere to go for him. Some contact there for Christian Roos in the 14 and the 25. Very unfortunate there for Woods, who's currently still trying to recover from COVID. He was really excited for this race. He felt like for some reason he'd have a pretty good one, and he was doing pretty good right up until getting involved in that one.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate, Angel. I feel like we say it every week when you start having these late cautions of these drivers who just run these phenomenal races and then have to deal with the adversity of a late caution. It truly is heartbreaking.
Yep, heartbreak is definitely true. We had a fantastic restart there. The top 3 or 4 kind of stayed right there with the same, putting on a good battle, and I gotta say, these guys are doing great job. 11 laps to go right now. Could be about 8 or 9 by the time we go green flag racing again.
Yeah, to your point, that top 3, all 3 fired off very well on that restart, Tate, Wheeler, and Gibney. And for a moment, it looked like any of those 3 could have wound up the leader when that caution came out. Obviously, of course, Tate being out in front. But had that gone green, all 3 of those drivers, at least from what we saw up to that point, were bumper to bumper ready to go.
Yeah, they are anxious drivers trying to come home with a decent finish in tonight's race. Again, Christopher Tate, his first race in the Ghost Cup Series. Chris Wheeler looking to capture himself a victory. He's been fast for so long. We keep mentioning it. Keeps having some misfortune, and here he's got an opportunity to finally get himself his first victory of the season. Hoping that Christopher Tate is not the guy to take it away from him, the new guy. Kevin Gibney Jr. on older tires doing a great job, though, holding his own here in the 3rd position. David Modespall as well on older tires, and then Robert Lawrence, a little bit fresher tires. He'll be restarting in 5th. Brock Whitehead made his way up to the 6th position. Don't take Robert Lawrence and the Whiteheads out of this, as is Miglin. He's right there in 8th. These guys still have fast race cars, and I think we have just enough time. They might be able to make some noise here.
Yeah, I would not count Robert Lawrence or the Whiteheads out quite yet, and it sounds like we've got our update from Race Control Greg.
All right, that was actually a net code, but the 60 did come down in the 22's lane. Of course, you got the Whiteheads on fresh tires trying to bully their way to the front, I'll call it, for lack of a better term. So they forced the 3 wide. 22 kept his lane in the middle. I guess the 60 thought he was going to go down to the lower line, so the 60 went for the middle. And did they physically make contact? No, but that's what happens. But no EOL to that one.
Oh, look at that. Racing incident here coming down to the end of this race. Everybody's going to be right on top of each other, just racing hard. And you're going to see more of that 3 wide, and I'm sure we're going to see at least one more 4 wide situation before the end of this one. 10 laps to go now. We'll be having 9 as they come to, they believe this is turns 3 and 4 here, which means that could be 8 laps to go on the restart. They should be getting double file, and lights should be off on that pace car as they come off turn 4.
You know, I was just thinking, Angel, you know, it'd be really funny for us, but really mean to the drivers at this point in time.
You know what? At this point, I think they're all pretty mad at us, so let's go for it.
If we pulled Kevin Gibney into the booth right now, he might kill us.
Yeah, you know what? Even I'm not willing to do that. I think I'm going to have to let him have it. Whew. Yeah, that might... Oh, goodness.
He would go irate.
Yeah, I think he'd be the guy not to respond to us. I'm sure Nate's jumping in the chat right now saying do it anyways. He said yes. That's exactly what it is. I knew it.
In all fairness, I don't think there's anyone in that top 5 worth talking to at this point, because they are focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is getting past X amount of cars in front of them and getting that checkered flag.
Nate mentioning that he was able to win his opening race in his truck league that he started in today. So saying maybe some of that same luck going to Christopher Tate in his first start in this league. Interesting there. Very interesting. We'll have to see if that's the situation. I can certainly see it happening here with the way he's been driving. So Nate may have just caught our winner with less than 10 laps to go.
Well, we'll see what happens, but those guys behind Christopher Tate are not going to be as confident as Nate is in a first-time winner. That pace car pulls off. The 54 of Christopher Tate is going to bring us to the green flag. 8 laps to go. The 6 of Chris Wheeler on his inside. The 54 of Tate gets a huge jump. No one behind him going to follow, though. Chris Wheeler, despite not having a great jump, is going to hold that second position. And Kevin Gibby Jr., again with a great restart all over the bumper of the 6 of Wheeler. They're going to have a great run coming out of turn 2. It looks like Chris Wheeler is going to cycle back to the lead on the backstretch. Maybe not. These side-by-side with the 54 of Tate. And Gibney pushing the 6 of Chris Wheeler to the lead.
Gibney
Wow,
looks
what a
like
push.
he looked like Ryan Blaney pushing Austin Cindric to the win in the Daytona 500 right there. He pushed Wheeler all the way to the lead. It is side by side now as they go down the front stretch. I think Wheeler had him by inches. They're side by side, at least 2 or 3 rows deep. Man, what a battle we've got here. Tate's going to drive it in extremely deep into 1 and 2, easily clear, and we've got ourselves a caution here with 7 laps to go.
Oh, no. Man, these drivers are giving it their all. And you know what? Chris Wheeler had his own personal jetpack right there named Kevin Gibney, and it looks like, obviously, Christopher Tate going to be scored the leader again. Wow. But it looks like David Modespaw may have gained a spot on Kevin Gibney. Modespaw now up to 3rd.
I don't know, though. Did he gain a spot, or did he just put himself on the outside or on the inside on a restart where you really don't want to be here? It looks like they're making contact in front of them, actually, here. Let's jump back to that for just a moment. The 35 comes up off the track into the 86, I think, of Leach. Oh, my goodness. Woods had nowhere to go. Roos nowhere to go. Oh, man, the unfortunate situation there for the 60 and the 14 continue tonight. Just devastating.
Greg, let me take a guess on this one.
Go ahead.
It's on the 35.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, yeah, that 86 was not moving, and that 35 came straight up on him.
Straight up and endured the crap out of him.
And that just took out, oh man, 60. Zach Woods just nowhere to go. Demolish his race car. I don't know if he still has a race car to keep out there.
I highly doubt it. He's not had the best of luck tonight, and he's very sick. So.
I know he's trying to put it out there, man. He's trying to race and got himself in the top 10 there too. Unfortunate for Zach Woods, and that, man, I gotta say, you appreciate a driver willing to stick it out when he's got COVID. Scott, I know you know that it's no fun to be trying to race with COVID.
Oh, man, I think I was maybe 2 or 3 days into COVID. I had to run a race, and it was awful. But you know what? We got through it, and you know what? Heads up to Zach Woods for sticking it in there. You could hear even, in the pre-race just how under the weather he still was. So at this point in time, I'll tell you what, even running the race he has, nothing to be ashamed of, fighting COVID to run that kind of race.
Yeah, great job so far there for Zach Woods. We're going to jump over to him now. Definitely on pit lane. No front bumper there, as you can clearly see. Now that's a modified.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, currently 5 laps to go. Christopher Tate, your leader. Chris Wheeler in second. David Modespaw in third. Mr. Modified Kevin Gibney Jr. in fourth. Brock Whitehead making his way up here to the 5th position. Robert Lawrence in 6th. Dan Miglin in 7th. Trey Whitehead in 8th. Kyle Rocket Speeds in 9th. Kyle Gardner, haven't had a chance to speak about him much. Rounding out your top 10. So from here, we're going to have, oh my goodness, this might be 3 laps to go, I think. This shouldn't be a green-white checkered, though. I think there should be 3 to go.
Yeah, I was trying to do the math in my head, Angel, and I don't think we're going to hit overtime quite yet. I think we're going to, oh, maybe not. We're going to go green with 2 to go.
Well, we have Greg Wood. Let's bring him in. Hey, Greg is, oh, we jumped in here.
Go ahead.
Is this going to be a green-white checkered?
It won't be an overtime green-white checkered, but essentially it will be a green-white checkered.
Okay, so there you go. That means we're gonna get 3 shots at a green-white checker then.
2 shots. 2 shots.
Well, you said this doesn't count, so technically this is a 2-lap shootout.
Okay.
So it's 3.
Technically, hopefully
Yeah.
we don't need the other 2.
No, of course, yeah. So, all right, Greg, thank you for clearing that up for us. Scott had it. We just wanted to double check.
Alrighty.
Ah, man, it's so useful when you can just bring someone randomly in constantly, and it's just immediate help. You don't have to bother the drivers when they're racing. I love it. And I know all you fans out there love having Greg coming in the booth with us and really help give direction and be clear with exactly what's happening on the racetrack.
It is absolutely nice to be able to have that kind of insight.
Nate said, "Don't hurt yourself with the mascot."
Well, it's what I do best.
Man, and Christian Roos jumping in our Facebook chat. So he shot himself in the foot. He was running top 10, but then got a speeding penalty, and that's when he got caught up in the back of that pack and getting caught up in some of those wrecks. So unfortunate night for Christian Roos there in that number 14 with heavy damage from multiple accidents today. Currently ranked in 15th, actually. Not terrible. He's still got somewhat of a car. Could pull out top 10 still here. We're going to have 2 laps to go. How aggressive can you be? And what happens here? Scott, oh God, I'm excited.
Oh man, this is going to be a finish for the ending, and I'm going to tell you right now, the one thing that Chris Wheeler is not liking right now is not having Kevin Gibney behind him, who, I said it last time, I'm going to say it again, was basically his personal jetpack, almost pushed him completely by the 54 Christopher Tate, and now Gibney's going to be doing the same to Tate this time around.
We don't know what caution this is. If for some reason we get another one, we can go ahead and pull the other tower cycle up. But here it is. Pace cars down pit lane. We are going green flag racing. Chris Wheeler with a big jump. Modest Ball doesn't quite go with him. I think Chris Tate's going to have a pretty good run. He's going to have Kevin Gibney all over his back bumper here in the 1 and 2.
Yeah, and you see Gibney pressing that bumper hard as Wheeler is not going to be able to beat Tate out of turn 2. Christopher Tate's going to have a great run, and so does Kevin Gibney, almost side by side with Chris Wheeler.
Here comes
They're gonna come
Whitehead.
around- Oh, and
Oh, there's contact. Oh, no! Brock Whitehead gets to the inside. They're wrecking. There goes Kevin Gibney. Alfred Denny's involved. Jonathan Leach. Oh, my goodness. 3 of my favorite people here. All involved in a massive wreck.
Oh, man. And it looked like Brock Whitehead just kind of threw it in where he wasn't supposed to be and took the field out because of it.
We're going to see what it looks like here coming down the backstretch. He's going to take it 3 wide. He's got the room down there. I think that's just close battle there with Modest Ball. I don't think Gibney ever knew they were going to be 3 wide at that moment in time. Man, that's hard racing, I think, right there. That's a lot different from this point of view.
Yeah, I think the biggest frustration right here is the 63 of Gibney. That's his blind spot. Like you said, I don't think he ever knew it was happening.
Okay, so interesting to see, because if for some reason Whitehead were to get the EOL here, this would completely take him out of an opportunity to win this race. He does have the freshest tires on these guys. We've had a lot of heat cycles on them, though. I'm not sure how much it might help him. Robert Lawrence still hanging on there in the 4th position. We'll have to give our race control a little bit of time to figure this one out.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of that. And then, you saw just the pile up that ensued behind.
All right, we'll jump in. This is going to be our 16th caution of the day. Had a really nice start. We had not too many cautions. I mean, we had a couple right at the start, and then we had some fantastic green flag runs, but keep racking them up like this with an opportunity to win, man. These guys are going to be aggressive and try to get there. And thank you, Nate, for sending us the stars on Facebook. Really appreciate it. Thinking that maybe it was a little bit too aggressive and not very sad for Gibney, I'm sure. Big thanks to Nate for sending those stars to us here on Facebook. Appreciate every one of those people who do continue to support us each and every week here on the Esports Broadcasting Network, a Sim Racing Media Company. All right, this is the first. We'll have one of 2 green-white checkers here, and let's. Greg, have you had an opportunity to go through all of it?
Yes, I've gone through all of it, and if it was any earlier in the race, the 31 would be in the rear, without a doubt. But coming to the white flag, everybody's making the moves that they think they got to make to get to the front. Any other time, if it was 5 laps ago, 10 laps ago, I would have chucked the 31 right to the rear because I was waiting for it. I was waiting for one of the Whiteheads to make a bold move, and it happened. But I mean, it's hard racing at this point. You're coming to the white flag. You got to do what you got to do.
All right, there goes the decision there. By the way, Nate says hi, and he loves hearing your voice.
Oh, I miss him.
Oh. He was out winning races tonight anyway, so I think he's happy. I think everybody else is pretty good with it. So,
did he win some money?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him afterwards. So we'll let you know, Craig. But thank you for coming on. This is green white checkered 1 of 2, correct?
Yes, it is. Since you jinxed it, now we're going to use them all.
I didn't jinx it. I just said we had an extra one.
It's the broadcast jinx. You know it.
Yep, then it continues to happen. So, but we had to have something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about 1,000 other things. But all in all, you gotta admit, this has been their cleanest race since the start of the season.
Yeah, no, they've had some just fantastic racing. We've seen the racing that the league is capable of, again, taking it 3 wide for laps on end, even doing so last week and really building on that this week. Really just a couple of late race incidents of, again, everybody's just trying to go for the win. You got a couple laps to go. You got an opportunity. You don't know when you might get one again, and when you're fast, you really wanted to capitalize on it.
Oh, yeah, of course. And so, I mean, like I said, it's coming to the white flag, so I was like, I was waiting for it. I figured it would be Trey, but I was watching Brock.
All right. Well, Greg, thank you, and let's go enjoy this last bit of this race.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Scott, I think we might or might not be fired after this one.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And Nate, of course, you got to be biased to your team. That's what you got to be. It's hard for us not to be, but I do like just about mostly everybody here, so I can be biased for everybody.
One thing you missed because you were at the Daytona 500, Angel. I don't know if you watched it during the pre-race. Tony Stewart was in the booth, and they radioed into Kevin Harvick, and he goes, "Kevin, it's your boss. You got a copy?" And Kevin had a little chuckle, so I totally understand that.
It's a lot of fun. Green flag racing once again. Scott, take us away for our green white checkered.
All right, overtime 1 of 2. Christopher Tate's going to bring us to the green. He's on the inside. Chris Wheeler on the outside. Christopher Tate, I believe, taking that inside probably to block the 31 of Brock Whitehead. But Chris Wheeler going to get a great run on that outside with Robert Lawrence behind him. They are absolutely neck and neck going through 1 and 2.
Man, what a move. Christopher Tate, can he clear for the lead? He's going to have to go all the way low. Here comes Miglin with a big run down the backstretch, trying to make it 3 wide. No room there. Whitehead's going to throw the block. Looks like Wheeler's a little bit loose. Whitehead's going to clear him for second off of turn 4. It's going to be side by side. We're going to go. This is the white flag here. Next flag ends it. Who's going to win this race right now? They are 3 wide. They are all over the place back here. Look at the battle they're having here for second and third. Oh, no, contact. Man. They're going to save it. Oh, massive wreck in the back. Behind. I don't know if they're going to let him race to the end. Here comes Brock Whitehead to the inside. He's just going to dive it low. Who's going to have the big run? Tate's going to have a big run on the outside. Is there going to be contact here? Coming off of turns 3 and 4. Coming to the line. Christopher Tate's going to hold off, and he's going to bring the Whiteheads to the line. The Whiteheads finishing second and third. What a spectacular finish.
Wow. Christopher Tate showed up. First race. Takes care of business. Brings home the checkered flag. Brock Whitehead, Trey Whitehead, second and third on the podium. Absolutely a great showing by those two week in and week out. They get it done again. Kyle Spies in fourth, Daniel Miglin rounding out your top 5.
Man, what a finish there from all these drivers. Some big wrecks happening there right at the end, but what a fantastic job. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and find Trey Whitehead, your third place finisher here for his interview. Let's go ahead and see if we can find him here. Ooh, let's see. May have thrown him into the wrong one. Oh, here he is. Trey, yeah, this is Scott and Angel in the broadcast booth. You got us. Man, yes, how did you come out of third there? We almost weren't talking to you there at the end.
Dude, I was starting 8th on the outside, and the outside line got a really good restart. I was hoping that's what would happen, and I was able to clear. I don't remember who was on my inside. I think it was Spieth. I was able to clear him. We had a run going down the back. And then, just coming out of 4, I kind of rode the middle. I saw Miglin try to dive low. And so when he didn't get a good exit off, I just kind of swooped it down to the apron and was able to take 3rd. But, man, I had a bird's eye view. I was in a catbird seat waiting for something to happen to the top 2 in case something did. But Brock couldn't get it done. I mean, it was real close with them, but, I mean, he was real fast all night. I felt like we were middle of the pack car all night long, and here we are sitting 3rd. So just glad to be here.
Yep, making the best out of maybe the most mediocre days you could possibly have. You were definitely the second fiddle when it came to the Whiteheads today. Brock definitely putting on a show, winning both of the stages. I mean, Trey, from here, I mean, another top 3 finish. You just keep racking up those points. What can you continue to do and maybe add to some of those wins the next couple weeks?
So, honestly, I kind of changed my strategy this race. Brock had a really fast car from the beginning. I'm not sure what he was doing different than me, but he would never get tight through the center of the corner. Early on through the run, I felt like if I pushed it too hard, especially running the top side, which is where everybody wanted to be, you pushed it too hard, the right front, get burned up a little bit, and I was getting kind of tight with the dirty air behind other cars. So once I figured that out, we just kind of rode and rode around and was able to get some pretty decent stage points in stage 1 and stage 2, and just put ourselves in a position at the end of the race to get up to the front. And I feel like if we can just keep doing that forward, I mean, I feel like another win is a couple weeks away. Obviously, we have the one from Atlanta, but this is really good momentum going into next week. So.
Man, Trey, well, fantastic job. You guys just showing again that aggression put you guys up there in the top 3, certainly with the results to show. I'm sure you have a couple people you'd like to thank before we let you go celebrate this podium finish with your brother there.
Yeah, obviously Ryan Sizemore with Sizemore Motorsports over here. Great team. I handle some of the operations as well as far as social media and stuff. Always a pleasure to have the Sizemore Motorsports branding everywhere, and we've got a new partner, Klarna. Be sure to check them out and check out their app. You can actually pay off some things from some certain stores over 4 bi-weekly payments, and nice and easy. Nice to have them on the car, and hopefully it'll become a paid sponsorship sometime down the road. But just the scheme looks really nice, and I'm glad we were able to put it up front and put it on some TV for them. So.
Absolutely, Trey. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And we'll see if we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
That was your 3rd place finisher there, Trey Whitehead. Now to bring in his brother, Brock Whitehead, and at number 31, also from Cleburne, Texas, here into the booth with us. Brock, this is Angel and Scott in the ESPN broadcast booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Man, well, I know it's not quite first, but, you dominated the first 2 stages, getting those both the highest amount of stage points possible when you finished 2nd today. So not necessarily a bad day either in that sense, showing a lot of speed. What more did you need there at the end?
Yeah, it was the restart. He chose the bottom, which really surprised me. So I shoved him. I was on the freshest tires, and he got the apron coming out of 2. I went under him, and that outside lane just has such a run coming off of the turns. And it was a really good battle. I think I should have probably went outside of him off the backstretch instead of killing my momentum, trying to stay it down low. But yeah, good racing by him, and yeah, 2nd place again, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, just keep building towards what could possibly be a victory. But always nice to add on to those points, Brock. Next week we're heading to Charlotte for a bit of a patriotic night. What may be the strategy there in a track that it's gonna be another high speed track?
Yeah, another track I'm pretty good at. I won the Charlotte race back in Backfire last season when I raced in there. Same patriotic race. I was very fast there, so hopefully I can take that and be fast again and run up front and not finish 2nd for the 3rd week in a row and hopefully get the win.
Yeah, 2nd maybe wouldn't be the best, but also not the worst considering it could be some pretty good points. Do you have any? Do you have an idea what your patriotic paint scheme might be like next week? Maybe want to let the fans know.
Oh, I don't even have a clue. I haven't been thinking about that. I'll probably get one of my paint guys to do it, but yeah, I'll let you know on that.
All right, Brock. Well, I'm sure, like always, you're gonna have some people to thank here. Go ahead and thank them before we let you celebrate this podium finish.
Yeah, I want to thank Ryan Sizemore as always, for letting me be on his team. I want to thank everyone that helps me get better at iRacing. Y'all for broadcasting. I want to thank one of my painters that made this cars. His name's Christian Wilcox. He made this paint scheme. His paint booth is juicy, so he's really good at making paints. I like nose paints too, but I had to switch it up this race. But yep, thank y'all for broadcasting, and thank Hubka and everyone that puts the league on.
Well, Brock, congratulations on the second place finish. Hopefully next week we're looking for one spot better at Charlotte.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and bring in now our winner here into the booth with us. Scott, go ahead and take this one away with our race winner, Christopher Tate.
Well, Christopher, welcome and congrats.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Man, early on in the race, you had a fast car. You qualified really well. Found yourself in a little bit of trouble. Moved back into the field, and then found yourself back up front at the end. Kind of walk us through your mentality of being able to manage your race and get yourself back into a position to pull out the win today.
Well, being in, this is my first race with these guys, and it's my first race in this car in really a while. So the first stage is I spent my time trying to learn the limits and just kind of see how hard I could push it before getting super tight, which got way too tight and hit the wall, and kind of put myself behind the 8-ball kind of after that. But after in the second stage, I started trying to work my way through it a little bit easier, and then just made a mistake with about 3 laps to go left in the stage and got clobbered in the end of the fence and had to burn my fast pair out there. And then the rest of the race was just really racing smart, saving my tires when I needed them, and really just working strategy. And the tires played a huge factor in this race, aside from all the cautions. If there's maybe 3 laps more, I think Brock would have probably had it just because he had the freshest tires. But overall, it was just part of you just really needed to race smart. Don't make any desperate moves, and really just drive to your ability. And that's what I did, and luckily I came away with a win.
In that final restart, you chose the inside lane with Brock Whitehead behind you. Was that an intentional move knowing where Brock was, or were you just feeling the inside?
The past probably 3 or 4 cautions, I was keeping an eye on where both of them were, just because I knew where I knew they pitted. I knew they were always up front, and I saw he was in the inside. I knew I believe it was I forgot. I don't know exactly who it was, but he was second, so I know he was getting a good run on me in the inside, and I figured I needed to get the as much of an advantage as I could on him, and he almost got me on the outside as well. I believe it was the 6, but it was mainly it was part of getting in front of Brock just to kind of have that security, and then as also having the straightaway around the track, trying to clear the 6 as well, just to kind of try and get out in the front.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead, Angel.
No, I was gonna say, one of our guys watching, Nate called it. He's right at the end there saying that you in your first race with this league that you were gonna win this race. So Nate called that one for you. Just wanted to throw that one in there. Go ahead, Scott.
Chris, I'm sure you have some people you would like to thank, but before you do that, on behalf of Angel and I think everyone else in the league, we just want to say thank you to you. A little name tag up on the screen can see you are a U.S. Marine, so of course want to thank you for your service in that. But I'm sure you have some people you would like to thank coming out in this victory.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for that, and I want to thank Grip Marketing for sure, because they kind of helped me out with the whole late model scene in the real world, and my team, Orion Motorsports, all my teammates and friends over at Grit, and really just everyone in this race. It was a great race. You guys are kind of putting it out there. Chris Hupka for allowing me to get in here, and I think that about rounds it.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you for joining us in the booth. Again, welcome to the league. Congrats on the win, and hopefully you can keep this momentum up next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
You as well.
Well, Angel, what a race.
Man, what a fantastic race. Kansas did not disappoint. No, we had a couple of extra cautions than maybe we expected, but nonetheless, the racing was nothing short of just phenomenal. We had so much fun. Even the drivers looking in their own chat and Discord, man, they're raving about how much fun they had tonight. Charlotte will be, I think, no different. A lot of fun there as well. We'll go ahead and run down the race results for you today. We just finished speaking with him. Christian Tate in his series debut in the Ghost Cup Series wins it here at Kansas. Brock Whitehead and Trey Whitehead finishing second and third. Just finished speaking with those. Kyle Spees and Daniel Middleton fourth and fifth. Chris Hupka, I didn't even notice. The boss man coming out of nowhere for a sixth place finish. Great finish for Mr. Hupka. Chris Wheeler would still come out in seventh. Modest Ball with a top 10 in eighth. Robert Lawrence in ninth. And Noah Owens subbing in for Mike Sabanovsky is going to come home in the 10th position.
Vernon Reese in the double zero coming home 11th. Christian Roos able to recover in that 14 to a 12th place. Wes Fuller in 13th. 14th belongs to Jeffrey Vickery. Patrick McQuaid coming home in the 15th position. Bryce Cobbler in the 25 coming home 16th. Kyle Gartner 17th. Mr. Modified Kevin Gibney driving it home 18th. 19th belongs to the 99 of Wally Babb. And first car a lap down in 20th position, the 84 of Cliff Koravu.
Mark Gonzalez is going to be your 21st place driver. Alfred Denny is going to finish in 22nd. The boss man, Jonathan Leach, in 28th. The pastor, Zach Woods, in 24th. DJ Daniel, after showing some speed early on, getting involved in a couple accidents, he'll finish 19 laps down in 25th. Dylan McDonald was not able to make it 3 wins in a row. He would finish 26th. John Curtis in 27th. TJ Roberts, we saw him some pretty good speed out of him early. He would wind up in 28th. Charles Whitehead in 29th. And Nicholas Panico is going to round out your top 30.
Cole Martin coming in 31st position. Nick Biddy finishing in the 32nd position. Joe David belonging in 33rd. Ricky Gonzalez in the 48 coming in 34th. Alex Coffey in the 18 finishing 35th. 36th belonging to Joshua Billiter. And Ron Gartner bringing it home 37th to round out an exciting field here at Kansas.
Man, it was an exciting field nonetheless. And as we mentioned, we're going to be at Charlotte next week. Same time as always. We're going to have patriotic paint schemes. I can't wait, man. We talk about how nice these paint schemes are week in and week out. I'm excited to see what some of these drivers pull off for next week's patriotic one.
And I love Charlotte. It's another 1.5 mile track. It drives much different than the two we've seen the last few weeks. And like you said, those patriotic paint schemes, they are going to look beautiful.
All right, well, we appreciate everybody's joining us once again tonight. For myself, Andrew Santiago, my broadcast partner, Scott Poznansky, have yourselves a great evening. Thank you, everybody.